the whole time. Oh my gosh. You guys will go back on this live stream and you're going to think I'm insane. I'm not even kidding. I'm leaving it all in so you guys could see it. This is crazy. I have literally... This live stream is going to be so much longer than you all realize. Because I've been streaming and talking to you guys for like 5 minutes. How long? 7 minutes and 19 seconds. I'm not even kidding. I'm pulling my OBS right over here. Look at this. I have been streaming. Oh, stop that. Stop that. I have been streaming here. Okay, let's pull this down a little. For right down here. You see that? You see this right here? 7 minutes, 38 seconds now. I've been talking to you guys, and I didn't realize my software, or not my software, YouTube glitched out. And then I see you guys go and start already. Hurry up and get here. And I'm just like, I'm right here. It didn't start. But if you guys go back to the stream, and once it goes live, I don't know if it'll let you go all the way back from this point. But once the video posts, you're going to see an entire 7 minutes that you didn't originally see in this stream because I had to refresh Rumble Studio and hit start streaming again. That's hilarious. But all of it'll show up. So yeah, this is insane. I showed you guys a band. I was talking to you guys about stuff. I was going over Project Constitution being obese because y'all were talking about him getting me a cease and desist. And I was like, dude, he can't even fit out his front door. He ain't going nowhere. And then it turns out I wasn't even live to you guys. Wow. Oh, boy, this is great. I showed you guys my guitar, and literally, I was just like, yeah, guys, I finally got, the pickup that came out, my Seymour Duncan AHB1. It's a little less input than a AHB2. Oh. Now I got my new one, which is white. I thought the white looked sick. And so it's like, look at that, Got the headstock all cleaned up, got to trim the strings, which I'll do during the show. Got all this stuff. Don't mind the orange. That's a shirt I stuffed back there because the springs are really ringy. And, you got to do what you got to do to get that under control. Hilarious, though, that I've been in here talking to you guys for this long. And it turns out I wasn't even freaking live. Unbelievable. I am so dumb. All right. By the way, crazy that these two are the exact same guitar. This one's a Keith Merrow signature. You can see his signature on the back of the headstock. And this one is not. But still very good. Okay. Please. So anyway, the whole reason why that guitar is not tuned yet, I got to give it a special tuning. Oh, I know how I could show you guys without getting copyright stricken here. Where? Open. There we go. Wax wings right here. Let's do, oh, wait a minute. Can I do it the MIDI file? Here we go. Pretty cool, huh? That's what I'm going to be learning, but it's in a very unique tuning. If you go over here, you see all this right here. It's in D, F sharp, A, E, A, C sharp. So I think this is a open A. Since it has two A's, A is the dominant. Let's see. It's got an E. I think that's open. I think that's open A. Can't. No, oh wait. Can I? Of course I can't highlight that. Oh, D2. Oh, wait, no, it's already in D2. Never mind, I'm dumb. C sharp 4. Yeah, it's all normal. Okay. That's all in, I don't have to do anything crazy with that. I thought I was going to have to stick a fat string on the end of that. Wait. What is the low? It is E2. Okay, so it's just a drop down. I'm kind of curious. Hold on. E2, F2. Oh. F2, huh? Oh, it normally would be a G, though, right? No, it'd be an A. Wow, that's really, really low. This string is really, really low. That's crazy. Normally it would be an A. And it drops down A, so G. Oh, well, it's not that crazy low. It's F sharp, so it's like a semitone and a half down, half semitone. I guess that's redundant. It's a semitone and a whole step. Whole step, semitone down, whatever. Anyway, not that crazy. Then it's A, which is normally D, which is fine. Now that's that's 3 tones down. That's 3 whole steps down. That's crazy. E. That's just 2 down. A right here, which is that's just 1 step down. Okay. And then C sharp 4, which is just it's a step and a half down. Okay. All right, that's fine. That's a wild tuning. Very, very wild tuning. I know Scarlet. I don't know what tuning was Scarlet in. Yeah, I swear if it's in the same tuning, I'm going to lose it. That'll be awesome. It's an open C add 9 tuning. C, G, C, E, G, D. Yeah. Well, no, I'm not doing that. Not unless I get a whole new guitar. So I love playing Scarlet. I learned how to play that song, but I haven't played it in a long time, and it's on that tuning, and it's just like, nope, that's not happening. Anyway, I said hello to all of you guys, by the way, just letting you know. So you'll see that at the beginning of this. I'm so dumb. Oh my gosh. It's so hilariously dumb. Gee. Unbelievable, guys. But thank you all for putting up with my BS. Thank you all so much. I really do appreciate it. Y'all should go look up that song, by the way. Periphery, Wax Wings. Beautiful song. Beautiful song. I'm going to be snacking up on some spaghetti to start because I'm hungry. And got to get to the gym. Oh, I got nothing yet. My arms are so little. Anyway, let's get in on this, huh? She looks ready. Here's Candace. Mwah. Mwah. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Oh, alrighty, let's go.
And happy Wednesday, by the way.
Happy Wednesday.
So we apparently
that's I'm not going to say
opened a can of worms this week, discussing what appears to me to be the most viable theory pertaining to Charlie Kirk's assassination, that the microphone may have been rigged. At least it's the theory that has the most evidence to support it. But if this were the case, that would suggest, obviously, that Charlie's audio and visual team was somehow involved in this conspiracy, whether unwittingly or not.
Yeah, everybody else is already involved, Candace, so why not? Why not just add someone else to it? You're right.
And I have to say that Terrell Farnsworth racing to take down the camera behind Charlie's head minutes after he died, also that little selfie he recorded of himself declaring that Charlie was dead seconds after he died, that's not going to help the conspiracies.
Well, I mean, geez, Candace, like, here's the thing. Even if they did end up hitting it, how did they know that? It still doesn't make sense. They could have declared that he died, got him to the hospital, and he still could have lived, and they would have just been wrong. So it's really silly to even speculate that, because it was seconds after he died, no matter what. He wasn't even at the hospital yet when they declared him dead. So it doesn't make sense, Candace.
Anyway, the next logical question for us became who actually mic'd Charlie Kirk? And the answer, ladies and gentlemen, kind of opened another can of worms. Now you're going to say, I just don't believe you anymore, Candace. This is not possible. It's just not possible, Candace.
Yeah, well, don't worry. I didn't believe you from the start, because the moment you started literally saying that this is what happened without proof, it made it really difficult for me to stomach what you were putting out there, because, well, you never provided any proof. That's kind of a problem.
Yes, that's what you're going to say. Welcome back to Candace.
Yeah, no, it's not what I'm going to say. It's all about the evidence that you failed to bring.
Okay, very quickly, because I promised you guys this yesterday, I want to at first briefly discuss the necklace that Charlie Kirk was wearing on September.
Why? Why do you want to discuss that? We already know that it's a Christian symbol, not a Catholic symbol. St. Michael is in, every form of the Bible. He's here, he's the archangel. We get it, but it's not a Catholic thing, Candace.
September 10th. As we all know, it was a St. Michael pendant.
Yeah, that is a St. Michael pendant. That's amazing. If you ever read your Bible, you would realize that that's not in any way, shape, or form Catholic.
There was much ado about this necklace, a bizarre amount of storytelling relating to the necklace, and it sort of became this fixture amongst the Turning Point USA goons. Take a listen.
And so Gigi and I stayed in our room, and that morning he woke up super early and he came into our bedroom, into the bathroom, because that's where his wedding ring was and his necklace. And he came in and he grabbed that.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that part. That's also where I keep my wedding ring. It's in addition to the bathroom. When you wash up, you don't want to take it with you into the shower or, you know, when you're washing in the sink or anything like that. So it goes off there in a dish.
His necklace had a cross on it, and it had St. Michael's medal.
Yeah, I wear it every day. It's right here.
Wow. Oh, it's so beautiful.
Yeah.
And so when they finally cleared it, I got into the car and I pulled out my bag, and draped over my bag was Charlie's necklace that had a cross and medallions on it. And I had heard they were looking for that. And so cop was like, "Oh, we've been looking for that." I said, "I got it."
Mute your mic. He had she is giving her producer the death glare right now. He did not catch that. That's funny.
So I just took it.
That was actually a necklace that Erica gave Charlie when they were dating. And she said, "Well, you're a Christian, why don't you wear a cross?" And he said, "I don't know, I'm not a jewelry guy." And something happened where he was pressed and he felt the weight of the world on him, and he put that cross on, and he never took it off again until he was assassinated. And the people caring for him ripped it off as they tried to save his life. And Erica has it on her all times now.
When we were about to leave, we finally got access to the car again.
Let me guess. The necklace itself contained the charge. Is that what you're going to say now? Now the necklace was actually the bomb?
And Erica was asking for a necklace that Charlie was wearing.
Oh, because she sneezed. That's why she glared at the producer. We just started. I'm guessing she's going to say that the necklace was actually the bomb now.
And it's a cross necklace and had some medallions on it. And when I went into the back seat of that car, I pulled my bag out, and that necklace was attached somehow, just kind of draped over the bag. So I gave it to Mikey, and I said, "Mikey,
You're a saint now, Mikey." Then you just see this bearded wizard guy come up, right?
I want you to give this to Erica. It was a comfort to her."
Candace foiled again. Let's hear it.
A lot to be said there.
Necklace bomb,
First and
right?
foremost, why were the cops looking for the necklace? How did the cops even know that Charlie was wearing a necklace on that?
Because she probably told him, "I want my husband's necklace that I gave him because he never took it off and it's very important. And he also doesn't wear anything else because it's the only piece of jewelry he wears." I don't know. Did you not hear what they said? That was the only, he doesn't like wearing jewelry. He was very apprehensive to wearing it. And then it was the only thing that he wore and it came from Erica. Sounds like it may have been an important necklace, Candace. I don't know. Is that really that hard to understand? Didn't seem that difficult to me.
That day, there was a theory after people started realizing how odd it was that everyone had a personal story about this necklace. There was a theory that began floating around
That it had a
that
bomb.
maybe it was the necklace that was rigged. And I would like
There it is. Wow. Saw that one coming from like 30 miles away there, Candace. Good job.
to say categorically that I do not subscribe to that theory. I do not believe that was the case. I actually...
Okay. All right. I'll give it to her. I won't even make fun of that face for her. That you earned it, Candace. You don't subscribe to it yet. But you also said you didn't subscribe to the whole blowing up microphone thing either. That was like 4 months ago, so, you know. Or was it like 2 months ago? Whenever she was arguing with Blake Bednar, she goes, "I just don't think it could have been an exploding mic. I think it was the folding AR." Well, I guess the folding AR is just gone now. It's not even a factor anymore. Did Corby make you mad? Did Corby make you mad?
Strongly discount that theory for two very simple reasons. One, that would leave things to chance. There was a chance that Charlie didn't put on his St. Michael necklace that morning.
The necklace that he never took off? Ever? Oh, okay.
There was also a chance that while traveling in a highly pressurized cabin on a plane that morning to Salt Lake City, that something could have gone horribly wrong.
What? You think the air pressure in an aircraft could set off a bomb like that? Do you have any idea the levels of pressure that it would have to be to set off a bomb? Okay. Well, that's an interesting one.
Simply put, with that much planning that needed to be involved to rig something, they would not have introduced a variable that was completely out of their control. Like, I hope he wears his necklace today. And they also wouldn't have put Mikey McCoy, Blakey Neff, and the entire team that were on board that jet traveling with Charlie with an explosive. So I just completely discount that theory.
Yeah, but I mean, to say that it's a microphone and then the microphone still be attached to him, that's just lunacy.
It is much more likely that the reason there was focus on the necklace, the reason the feds were looking for that necklace, the reason that it was given to Erica is because
there was chemical residue on it.
If our theory is correct, it contained explosive residue. That would.
I'm so good at this, aren't I, guys? I did not pre-watch this at all mainly because it's live right now. It's how far behind am I? I'm 24 minutes behind. But yeah, I didn't pre-watch this at all.
Probably been the single most thing that had explosive residue on it because it was on.
Yeah, that would be really, really stupid, Candace, because if the projectile on his microphone couldn't get through his shirt, you think the residue could? Okay.
His chest. It would be that simple. And if the feds were in on it, as we all suspect, then they would have gone, okay, where is that? We need to make sure we get rid of this necklace in some capacity. And the safest bet would have been to say, well, we're giving it to his widow. Now,
yep, and which still would have all that evidence on it to this day, right?
As we unpacked yesterday, when you run this theory that Charlie's microphone was rigged, suddenly every little oddity in this story, every little oddity from September 10th onward begins to make a lot more sense.
Well, except for the fact that, whenever you fire a weapon and it kicks, why didn't the projectile from the microphone do the same exact thing?
To briefly recap, we put together this graphic for you guys. The rigged mic would go a long way in terms of explaining why the bomb dogs were kept away from the scene. Okay.
Why would they check the scene for bombs when he got shot from 150 yards away? Why is it when everybody in the crowd heard the shot? Let me do something real quick. I'm going to pull up the footage, but I'm not going to pull up like it to where you guys can see it. Let me do this. Charlie Kirk. I'll just put footage. Let's see. Let's do this. When the actual thing happens. Shot. Okay, so that rang out. We'll take a look here. I'll tell you guys whenever it happens. I got him muted. Come on. Did I go too far back? Oh, I did, I think. Okay. God. Okay, I'm guessing it happened then because the camera just jerked really hard. Nope. Not quite. Where is it? Sorry guys about the dead air. On. Oh, that it's not in that footage. Okay, never mind. Where is? Okay, that's an up close. I don't want the up close. I want that. I want an image of the crowd, or like of a
counting gang.
No. There we go. All the images too up close, but you should be able to see the crowd. Oh, here's a good one.
You know how?
Okay. As soon as it goes off, you see people's heads turn to look behind them. Everyone drops. They hear the boom. Oh, this is such a bad angle, too. When the shot goes off, though, you see everybody. Yeah. You see everybody starts looking behind them from where it came from. So let me show you guys. Okay. Better not be playing. There we go. Okay. So Charlie's down. Okay. They're sliding over the table. You see people here. And where are they looking? Well, they look. When they get down, they're all looking behind them. Why would you look behind you? If the explosion ended up happening over here in this area, why in the world would everybody else look behind them? This is where Candace Owens should start using her brain. Because what could have ended up happening if an explosion went off right then and there? Is they could have had a timer in the guy's ear and been like, okay, we're going to blow this up in 3, 2, 1. He pulls the trigger up on top of the roof, up into the air. Maybe it's even a blank, right? Explosions go off at the same time. But that would still prove that the rifle was fired. But Candace Owens cannot have that happen. Because if it happens... Oh, this was Blake Bednar's video, by the way. But if that ended up happening that way, well, then you would now have the weapon actually still being fired. But she's like, nope, it can't be fired. So she's put herself... Really, she likes to come up with theories and stuff to keep her videos going, to keep her making money. But she doesn't actually sit down and think about the videos. She just waits until somebody brings forth a new idea that she runs with it because she knows it'll make her money. It doesn't have to make sense. You don't have to think about it. But why were people looking behind them when the explosion, quote unquote, went off? Is that not a little bit weird? Why are all the witnesses saying that they heard the shot behind them? Why? You would think that if an explosion went off on Charlie Kirk's person, everybody would have heard it from in front of them. Now, if you really wanted to go down to a deep diving conspiracy theory here, right? Small explosion in the front, very loud 30-06 in the back. 30-06, very big, very loud. Be a good distraction from an explosion, wouldn't it? But she's not even smart enough to think of that. Her conspiracies have so many holes in them. So many holes that she doesn't correct. Why did you interview Corby? Why did you bring him on for his foldable AR and go through the whole motions that it had to be a foldable AR? And then just, you're completely away from that theory now. Now all of that we can write off as bad information. When he sat there and talked about Victor Marks, I can now just discount that and say he really was lying 1,000,000% now. Because Candace Owens has completely abandoned that idea. It's funny how that works, huh?
Okay, because they would have smelled the explosive. Why the crime scene was immediately paved over and the soil was excavated.
Because it was on a Sunday and school starts on Monday. And they didn't want students coming back to a bloody mess in the middle of the place. Like, did you expect them to leave that up? Like, sure, they could rope it off and stuff like that, but kids would still have to walk past it. Like, come on. Do you not understand? They got all the evidence they needed from the area. If there was actually nothing there, what was the problem with paving over? If everything is as the FBI is saying, as the police are saying, everything happened with Tyler Robinson and all that, well, then what would actually be the problem with paving all that over? Well, there wouldn't be an issue, right? So there you go.
That's because...
yeah, exactly. So now Victor Marks wasn't lying according to Candace now. Exactly.
Explosive residue, as we have learned, really hangs on to soil. It is highly soil absorbed. So I can show you that here. I think we have a little...
Specifically, what's highly soil absorbed? Explosions? What? It depends on the chemical used, Candace. What are you talking about? So if an explosion happens, no matter what comes out of the explosion, the soil just automatically absorbs it all. Okay.
Science article that you can look up. You can research this
so
on your own,
dumb.
but it says that the low water solubility and high soil absorption of PETN in particular,
you're talking
if we
about
think
that
that is the
specific chemical.
explosive,
Okay.
it would be very problematic, and you would, in fact, need to dig out the soil. We introduced to you guys
Why couldn't they put a memorial garden there? Dig out the soil, put a whole memorial garden, Charlie Kirk it up. Could have done that. They didn't do that, though. That would have been cheaper, too. Kind of wild.
the Dan Merrill, who was the guy who was the paver who was called to come in on a Sunday. Well, actually, further on in his interview with Jimmy Rex, he describes how he was actually the second person or the second team, so to speak, that arrived. Before he even had arrived on that Sunday, just a few days later, they had sent another government team to go in and to dig out all of the soil.
They couldn't get government contractors to fill it all in? Okay.
8 to 10 inches of soil. Take a listen to what he said.
When I showed up, I took pictures of what it looked like. They had taken out about 10 inches of the dirt around the whole place, right? You know, you can, right now you can see where the pavers are. Everything under that, probably 10 inches had been excavated.
Why do you think they excavated so much dirt? You think that they were trying to make sure they got any bullet fragments or anything that was in there?
I wasn't looking at it with that lens, dude.
Really?
That's pretty convenient, huh? I wasn't looking at it with that lens. What, the lens that makes sense? Okay. Sure. It's a good possibility that they dug up all the dirt, put it through a sifter, and we're trying to find any type of pieces that could have been laid down in the dirt from a bullet fragment or anything like that, because a gram off could make them think it's a different bullet. Who knows?
I wasn't.
It didn't even cross your mind?
It didn't cross my mind.
Well,
Okay. I think you played the wrong clip, Candace. That made you look pretty dumb.
my answer to that would be, as I said, running this theory, that it is because of high soil absorption. It is a fixture of PETN explosive. Again,
I'm not saying what she's saying is completely 100% impossible, but what I am saying is if you put all the pieces together, you get a story of thousands of people knew Charlie Kirk was going to get assassinated. You have the fact that a bomb went off on him, somehow did not blow up his shirt or anything like that, didn't scorch anything. You ended up having, Diana Cooper. Thank you so much for joining as a member. I haven't even mentioned memberships yet, guys. Thank y'all. Thank you, Diana. You end up having, no shirt destruction whatsoever from an explosion. It came from the right side of his body to the left into his neck. Very hard thing to do right there without it cutting through or going in on this side at all. Pretty unlikely. And then you have every single person being quiet as to what happened inside the government. That's kind of wild. Thousands of people knew about it. And, then you have also subcontractors that knew about it. You had audio teams that knew about it. You had security teams, private companies that knew about it. You had TPUSA that knew about it. You had everybody within TPUSA knowing about it. You see the problem with that? And nobody's talking? Nobody's let it slip? Nobody's told a family member, I actually really know what happened to Charlie. Not really supposed to say, can't do anything, but just, keep it on the down low. He totally got blown up. No one? Not one person. I cannot get behind that. I can't get behind that, Candace. That is, if people are that well organized. And let me tell you something. I've had the best teams in my life in certain different scenarios. Bands, to work, to school. I've had good teams before. And I've never met a person that didn't blab their mouth about something they shouldn't have talked about. Never in my life have I ever met a person that didn't blab something that I didn't need to hear, that I haven't had to tell them, bro, I don't think you need to talk about that. You know what I mean? I'm sure all of you guys also know somebody, know most people like that. So I don't know. That contractor guy she showed, I've seen a video about 2 or 3 weeks ago. Really? Interesting. I'll have to take a look at that.
another thing that just sort of would lock into place. Why the feds were searching for Charlie Kirk's necklace? The same reason, explosive residue. Why there appears to be shattered black plastic or glass all over the SUV, which
Do you think he could have left behind anything else other than the necklace, though?
transported Charlie to the hospital? That would be the road bike. That would fit in perfectly. That would make sense.
It could. It could definitely make sense. It could be the road mic. They also could have stepped on it while he was laying on the floor. He would have been laying flat on the floor. And that road mic may have been on his hip. They may have, when they put Charlie Kirk down on it, it could have snapped and shattered up. And I have had many wireless boxes that are garbage. Mainly they were Behringer. No. I did not have a Behringer one. I had a Line 6. It was a Line 6 wireless box that shattered into 1,000 pieces. They're very thin garbage plastic. I don't know that Rode would make it out of garbage plastic, but at the end of the day, if you stomp down on a plastic box, it's going to shatter.
Why there is no available footage or any eyewitness reports of someone
in the chair, that was just blood.
Seen firing a shot from the Losey building.
What are you talking about? We actually have a, let's see, where was it? What happened to it? Charlie Kirk. They had him upstairs. Like they showed video of him. Where he was running. Do you all remember that? Whenever like they just showed the guy running across the roof and they're like upstairs in the second floor. What happened to that video? Because I don't ever see it brought up ever again. Let's see. I remember that. Do you see him? Oh, yeah, I think this is it. Right? Is this it? No. Not it, right? No, that's not it. Where was this one? Oh, yeah. Remember this man that was celebrating? I'm going to pull that up. The man that was celebrating when Charlie Kirk got hit? Remember that? Look at where's he looking at? Where's he looking at? Oh, that's interesting. Just a fun little fact there. Why would he be looking in that direction? Isn't that a little weird? Behind him, not in front of him? Where's the video? Do you all remember what I'm talking about, though, where somebody was upstairs and they filmed Tyler Robinson running across the top of there? What happened to that video? Because I never see it ever. I haven't seen it in a long time since the day it happened and got released. Let's see. Oh, here it is. I think this is it. Pretty sure this is the video. They're here in this glass building here, okay? They're on the second story. And there he is. And they show him run across over here. There he goes. This is after it happened. So you remember that? So what is she talking about? Candace Owens is full of crap. Let me rewind that part again, get exactly what she said, because I kind of forgot. But
that's one. Why there is no available footage or any eyewitness reports of someone seen firing a shot from the Losey building.
Well, I mean, we got the guy looking back behind him. We have this right here, this video showing on the Losey building. Running off after it happened. Everyone drops down. You see everyone dropping down? That's after the shot happened. Look at where people are looking. They're ducking down, doing this number. Look at that. Look at people turning around. These people are turning around. You see Tyler Robinson run across the roof at that moment as soon as the shot goes off. Boom. There he goes. People taking cover. There he is. Just running. Yeah, Candace, you're so full of crap. It's so easy to debunk you. I'm glad I have a good memory because I completely forgot about this. Yeah, let's see. Candace Owens started. There we go. It's my favorite thing to say. I love it. I absolutely love it because she really is. Why is this doing this? Something went wrong, but don't fret. Give it another shot. Thank you. Well, X is doing such a good job today. Okay. I'm lazy. Discard. We're going to do this, and we're going to bam. I already said that. Up yours. You already said that. Yeah, you like playing that game? Did it do it? I don't know what's going on today, guys. Is X, like, down? Oh, here we go. Okay, well, it did it for me. Whatever. I'm not going to complain, I guess. That was weird, though, right? A little weird. So, just a wee bit weird. Sir. You're being weird, sir. Okay, here we go. Alrighty, guys. Let's get back into this.
That's a big, strange anomaly here. Why do we not have those people? Yes, I saw him.
Also, thank you so much for joining the membership there. Shoot. Hold on. Did I say Debbie? Was it Debbie? Debbie? Was it you? Wait. Oh, no. No, my chat refreshed. No, there we go. Diana. My bad. Not Debbie. I don't know why I always want to say Debbie. It's a fun name.
Take a shot.
Debbie.
Yeah, because no shot was actually taken from the Losey building.
Well, I just proved you wrong, so there you go.
Why the feds did not conduct a standard GSR gunshot residue test when Tyler Robinson was brought in.
Because there wouldn't be any on his hands. How? Oh my gosh. Yeah, why do I have to fact check you on everything? How long are How long GSR on hand? How about that? 4 to 6 hours. 4 to 6 hours. Like, I thought it was 12, but I guess I was wrong. Okay. There we go.
Because they knew that he would fail it. And
yeah, they did know he would fail it. You're correct. 48 hours later, they absolutely knew he would fail it. Yeah.
To help them in court if Tyler Robinson, who they say they got after a 33-hour manhunt, 33 hours on a minute over.
Okay, not quite 48 hours, but still, 33 hours is about 28 hours too long. Too long.
Failed the GSR test, especially when they say he was wearing the same outfit. It would also explain why Terrell Farnsworth violated the crime scene immediately, quite boldly, to remove the SD card from that back footage, because it would have captured that the 30-06, which would have decapitated Charlie, did not.
Candace, we already know it didn't go all the way through. If they had said, oh, it did go all the way through and out the back of his neck, and then showed the footage, then you'd be right. But that's not what happened at all. All it did was confirm that, yeah, it didn't go all the way through. And what did that camera didn't, how do you even justify this to yourself? Genuinely, how do you justify that to yourself at all? Well, the camera proved that it didn't go all the way through the back of his neck. Yeah, duh. They said it didn't go through his neck like months before the footage was released.
Not go through. Also, it would explain why there was unusually no ambulance on standby. I always had an ambulance on standby at my Turning Point USA events when I toured. This is an anomaly.
They could not provide an ambulance, and they were not required to.
It would answer to that would be because...
And there were many times he didn't have an ambulance on standby. What are you talking about? You did not. I don't think you hardly ever did have an ambulance on standby, actually. Did Charlie Kirk always have an ambulance on standby 100% of the time with Candace Owens being with him as well? Let's just see. Let's see what Grok says, if there's any info on that.
Well, the paramedics would have seen the shattered road mic pieces and all of the other evidence, which did not...
Oh, yeah, but the police were in on it, and everyone else was in on it, but they just could not get the ambulance, like 2 ambulance guys to be in on it. You're right,
support a gunshot wound.
So dumb.
That would be the reason why you would just have his security team
can't say that would be the reason.
Under this theory. Again, we're thinking while it's still legal to do so. Lastly, it would go some way of explaining why Erica was quick to forgive Tyler Robinson before the world, quicker than she was able to forgive Drewski when she came out weeks later looking like an assassin and saying that she was so angry at Drewski, much more angry than she was at Tyler Robinson. So bizarre.
She never said that. She never made any comments about Drewski until months later, or like a month later, when she was like, yeah, some people are just mocking me. dressing up in whiteface. And that's all she said. That's all she said.
So bizarre. Well, it's easy to forgive someone if you...
Okay. No, Charlie Kirk did not always have an ambulance on standby at his events. There's no credible evidence supporting that claim. And the 100% of the time with Candace Owens being with him as well, part is also unfounded. There you go. All right. I'll just do that. Good enough. Owens lies again. I mean, it's just one after the other, after the other, after the other, Candace.
Maybe you know they didn't do anything?
Debunking you with every statement.
I could probably forgive someone who didn't do something to me either. I don't know. Anyway, to move on, we were inundated yesterday with emails from people who work in the space of media, in the space of audio particularly, and they were positively...
No. You don't want to go there and tell me that this sounded like a certain weapon or something like that. This is going to go so piss poorly for Candace.
Incensed and insistent. They could not express enough how absolutely inappropriate, nonsensical, and utterly moot it would be for Charlie's mic to be placed on the inside of his shirt.
Candace, you're an idiot.
A point that I briefly mentioned yesterday, but I didn't really harp on it. At least I didn't harp on it enough, apparently. Again, so this is just to recap for my fellow non-techies. We are referring to Charlie's wireless microphone, not the handheld. Here it is, again, that black squared Rode Mic Pro.
Sure.
It does also feature recording capability, and it also has a magnetic clasp, which holds it onto your shirt, the other side of your shirt.
Yeah, which you could take apart with your fingers, and if your fingers are capable of pulling it apart, but your fingers aren't capable of jamming through someone's throat, chances are that means the explosion is greater than the force required to remove that magnet with your bare hands. Explain that one.
And here is how they put it onto Charlie on September 10th. So
cool. That looks like a lav mic to me.
They have the magnetic clasp on the outside and yet the Rode mic on the inside. Now, if you...
I don't know that... Hold on. Let me find... Let me see if I can get a good angle on that. Charlie Kirk final footage. Let's see. Let's see. Here's this. This should be able to... Nope, it's from behind him. Also, we do got really good behind footage. Like, look at this, by the way. This came out. Oh, wait, this is June 12th, 2026. But look at this angle that they have on Charlie. Like, this is not from the camera at all. This has been out for a while, I think. And this is not from the main camera. Why would the back camera show anything differently than this? Let's see. He picks it up here. This is right around where he gets hit. That microphone should be over here, right? So he gets hit, and you see that there's nothing different over here at all on his shirt. Nothing down here, nothing up here. All of this is relatively normal. So, I don't know. This is the guy that they're pointing to detonating or whatever. Maybe push the button is what they think. But you notice that, like, his shirt is normal up here, and the part that's not normal is the part where the entry was on the neck. So, I don't see anything involving his shirt. His arm goes up, but his shirt is very, very normal. I don't want to show anything beyond that. But anyway, just putting it out there. Candace, yep, content. I want to see the actual footage beforehand. Let's see. Is there anything from the beginning? Audio here. Oh, this is the one that's like... Let's hold on. Yeah, this is 9 minutes long. The fact that it's 9 minutes long, yeah, he's still there and all. Can I get an angle, though? I can't get an angle at all from Charlie where I could see that microphone. Wait. I might be able to here. Nope, back behind him again. Dang it. Where's the front footage? Wait.
Utah, and the judge...
There's nothing there in that image either. Okay. Wait a minute. That's useless. That's completely useless. This looks like a microphone, though. It doesn't look like a clip. I'm pretty sure he has a microphone, like an actual lav mic there attached. But I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. Where is... I don't want to click on any of this because it's graphic, right? You know what I mean? Wait. What is this? Oh, never mind. That's just some IDF thing over in... Okay. Can I get a good picture of Charlie Kirk there? I really need to get a good image of... Here's one from the front. Okay. Can't see it. Okay. I wish I could get a good up-close video of Charlie. Oh, wait a minute.
That means that
he's wearing a lav mic here, but I can't see it very well. It's a different event, but I just want to see the exact event. Please don't be anything. I don't want to see that. I could have just probably scrolled. I don't think I'm going to see a good front footage of Charlie at all. Of his microphone. I just don't think I'm going to quite see it. So, anyway, let's see what we got here. Jane, for the $5, says, didn't Charlie put his own mic on after he passed out hats? That's what I'd like to see. I'd like to see that. Thank you so much, Janae, not Jane. Janae. Janae. I'm going to start calling you that. I'm warning you right now. I was actually going to literally be like, my wife made me spaghetti. But, I didn't do that. But now I have a reason to do, some Forrest Gump there. Hey, Janae. Thank you so much for that. I really do appreciate it. Jeez. Charlie Kirk, full UVU footage. See what we got here. Rare drone footage they desperately tried to bury. Oh, wow. Desperately tried to bury it? Okay. All right. Don't care about that. Wait, what's this? Parents of the alleged Charlie... Okay, that's... Yep. Where is the full footage? I want to see him from the beginning. Oh, this is good. Right here, I don't want to... If I click this, though, it's probably going to show him, like, go out. I don't want to do that. Man. Oh, what's going on here? Oh, perfect. Okay. Where's this going to go? I want to make sure that it doesn't show it. Yeah, we see him there. We see him there. We see him there. Yes, they're running him out. Okay. They're putting him in the car. Do they have him? Can I see him at all while they're carrying him? Wouldn't all of that plastic just fall out the way they're carrying him right here? Why would there still be plastic? And wouldn't there be plastic littering the ground? Notice how there's not. Notice how there's no plastic leaving the ground at all. You can see blood. You see the blood right down here? Oh, I'm in the way. Okay. So you see these dots down here? That's blood from him. No plastic. No plastic shards or anything. Isn't that fascinating? And they're getting close. Look at this. No plastic on the ground at all. None. How is it all self-contained? I did not expect this guy to pop up and be so Asian. I'm sorry that caught me off guard. It's I'm literally just scrolling. Boom! There he is. All right. But notice how there's no plastic. No plastic on the ground at all. How in the world is it possible that there could have been no plastic? I just wish I had a good up close, because here he is there, but he doesn't have his microphone on. That's a bummer. Yeah. Dang it. That's a tough one. That's a very tough one for me to determine exactly what he had on. Again, back footage.
Great.
Nope. Hold on, though. When it hits. See, now here's the thing. Here's the thing, right? Did you all notice that this didn't move an inch? And that the shirt over here moved? Look. This is where the explosion would take place, according to Candace. And when you move it forward just slightly, and it hits, there it is still. What kind of explosion, when it goes off, moves forward? That doesn't make any sense. So that would be like your gun if you had it and you shoot and it goes and pulls you forward after you fire? Since when does that happen? Have you all ever fired a firearm that sucked you forward? That'd be a little weird, wouldn't it? I'm sure there's a way to design it too, like maybe cut some pressure holes into it or something like that. But it just doesn't seem. It just doesn't seem possible to me, you know. Eric Gosse. How do I pronounce that last name? Gosse? Hey, love your work. Just wondering, has Candace ever provided a motive for France to be involved? No. Nope, she's never provided a motive for them at all. She's just... Actually, that's a good question. Why would France be involved at all? Why would France take part in this at all? I've never even really thought of that, to be honest. That's interesting. But yeah, look at this. The shirt, when it goes up, why in the world would this part of the shirt move up, but not this part? That doesn't make any sense for an explosion to take place like that. I do wish that I could see what that microphone looks like. I'm sure there was, like, is there not good enough, like, if it, look at how clear and crisp this footage is. Could there not be that from the front? The back footage is not as appealing. Candace may be interested in the back footage, but I am not. Not in the slightest. See, and then that's too far away. Wait. Nope. Bad footage. Okay. Yeah. Nope. Don't want to see that. It's side footage again. I don't know. Full UVU, Charlie Kirk VU picture. How about that? Let's go a little safe. Oh yeah, that's a nice picture. See, here's that. There's this guy. If I could just get any type of image to see. Where's the full unedited UVU intro? I want to see when he comes out, and you know, the video where he says I'm an evangelical Christian, stuff like that. Do you guys know where I could search to get the full UVU image? Yeah, where is Air Jeff? Where is Air Jeff at? Let's see. I need to see it so I understand what microphone I'm working for. Full video. Like, can I not get the full thing? Oh, full leaked 11-minute original unmodified UVU video. Here we go. When does all this take place? Okay, he's still around. Okay, good. Okay, good. I thought I saw him walk out. Weird. Unedited. There's no audio. This is edited. Oh, here we go. This is good. This is good. That could be. It could be that mic model. What model of microphone did Charlie Kirk have clipped to him at UVU? This will help out a lot. Charlie Kirk exploding lapel mic theory debunked. Yeah. I wish I knew exactly what model of mic. Because if I knew what model of microphone, I would be able to identify it, or just see if it's possible at all, because it's here, but it looks like there's a fuzzy top on it. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's hard to tell. Too hard to tell. Even so, your shirt's not going to mess with it. A good example. Let me give you a good example. Shirt material, very, very thin. This material, very, very thick. Do I sound muffled? Do I sound worse? Do I sound like I've changed? It's crazy how that works, huh? So whenever she sits there and tries to say, oh, my audio text that I have here, putting it under the shirt would make it sound muffled and stuff.
You are trying to get a class, and here is how they clasp. Sophie, here it is again. So this is just to recap for my fellow non-techies. We are referring to Charlie's wireless microphone, not the handheld. Here it is again, that black squared road.
Well, she's still, let's see.
On the inside of his shirt, a point that I briefly mentioned yesterday, but I didn't really harp on it. At least I didn't harp on it enough, apparently. Again, and on the outside, and yet the Rode mic on the inside. Now,
again, here we are talking. This is infinitely thicker material. It is, that's pretty thick, actually. That's a good, I'd have to push it in like this far just to get to it, but this is a very, very thick foam. And it's less porous than my own shirt, which you could, it's very, very, very thin. It's not gonna muffle your sound. Let's put it that way. This will not muffle your sound either. It's designed that way. So is a shirt. Notice that I use socks and shirts like that for my guitar too. Here's an orange shirt in the back of my guitar. I do that to dampen the spring. And I had to sit there and wrap it around. It's like this thick. It's very thick. And still string noise runs right through it. It's very, very porous, cottony material. You can soak it through water. You can blow air through it still. It's crazy. So no, it being on the other side of your shirt will not affect your sound quality unless the microphone is digging into your skin. Then it would probably not be good. But I doubt it's doing that. It's recessed pretty well.
You are trying to get a clear and crisp audio. You do not place it.
Oh, I got another. Eric Goss, hold on. My bad. You said, just ask Gemini. Diplomatic relations between France and Israel are at a historic low. There's no reason for them to help Israel to do anything. Man, I'm glad you looked that up. I appreciate it. Yeah, you're absolutely right. It doesn't make sense, which is why she's gotten so far from the France thing anyway. She was throwing France under the bus, mainly because she got mad at Brigitte Macron.
On the inside of someone's shirt, right? That would just be foolish. That would be like us running the show and just putting, we wouldn't do this. Why would we want that ruffle of me moving my shirt? It's real.
That's not what happens under there, Candace. That's not what happens at all. It's a box. The microphone is, let's go back and look at your dumb setup, okay? The microphone's right here. That's where the microphone is, okay? The microphone's up here. Do you see how it's recessed? Do you see how if you put a box underneath your shirt, let's take this for example. Let's say the microphone's right here. If it's up under your shirt, okay? Do you notice that whenever the shirt's here, notice how the center of this doesn't get covered because it's a square? It's not that difficult to understand. Do you know how many microphones people put on underneath them? They put lav mics inside of their jacket, on the lav, underneath the lapel. Oh, no, I say the lav. Underneath their lapel, they will put a lav microphone. So, I don't know, Candace, it seems to do a pretty good job. But yeah, let's just not put something in front of the microphone at all. Because this is what'll happen, right? That right there. As a matter of fact, let me get a better example right now. There we go, guys. See this? Oh, it's invisible. It's blue. It's not even green. What the heck? Come on, you don't see this? That's so dumb. This is actually blue. Whatever. I'm going to put this, I'm going to make this microphone, I'm going to thicken it up too. I'm going to square this up as thick and the microphone's going to disappear. Now, covering up the entire front end of that microphone, and I'm going to show you it's covered up. Actually, yeah, let's just take this out. You know what? Sorry guys. Taking this right out. Here we are. Just so people know the very tip of the microphone is covered. Now, I want, because I can't hear, actually I could hear if I wanted, tip of the microphone's covered. Do I sound any different at all? Just out of curiosity, how much... Oh, well, I am cupping the mic. Let's leave it like this. There we go. Do I sound drastically different? This is folded up 4 times over, by the way, and now you can hear me without it on. Now it's back on over the microphone. How different do I sound? Is it really bad? Let me know. 1, if it's bad. 2, if it's good. Definitely curious. Let me snap this microphone back. Shoot. Oh, I could... Cable in. How different is it with it folded over like that? Oh, come on. There we go. Oopsie poopsie. Should not be messing with my microphone like that, but whatever. It's for a good cause, isn't it? Ooh, don't cover up the... Oh, no. I want to cover up my reflections there. Or not my reflections, but the things that reflects the sound. There we go. 1.5. There we go. So 1.5, and this is folded over. This has 1, 2, 3, 4 layers. Now, thinness of a shirt. How does that sound now? Does that sound any different right there? See what I mean? By the way, Papa Jamo, thank you so much for joining memberships, man. I appreciate that. So anyway, here you go. Now this is over the microphone completely. The thinness of a shirt. Does this sound terrible? I guarantee you this doesn't sound muffled at all when it's one little layered over. So, here's a microfiber. It's actually much thicker than a shirt still, but good example. You see how much it would take to muffle a microphone. Now, here's the deal too. That's with this pulled across the front of the microphone. On this right here, this design, this is going to be laying up against his skin right here. This back part is what's attached to his shirt. The microphone's free and unobscured. Even if it's underneath the shirt, it creates a pocket to where it's open like this. So it's not even obstructed by the shirt at all. Funny how that works. So just a few examples, because I know a lot of these tricks in the studio because I have a studio. I do a lot of audio. You know what I mean? So it's just one of those things to where Candace is so full of crap. I have to fold this over 4 times to get it to sound muffled. 4 times, and completely obscure the very front of my microphone, which is not obscured on the Rode mic whatsoever.
And you're sure have the get a grade of someone's shirt, right? That would just be foolish. That would be like us running the show.
Yeah.
Why would we want that ruffle of me moving my shirt?
That wouldn't happen.
It really is common sense. And people who were emailing us were so frustrated by this. And as we examined the question, is this how they just had always done it? Were they always just, incompetent? Well, we had some time, ladies and gentlemen, and I told you the very first tour stop where I saw that as a new feature was the first tour, the first college campus tour, where I was not featured alongside Charlie Kirk due to the Zionist peer pressure, the external Zionist peer pressure. Since me leaving the Daily Wire, it extended to Charlie Kirk. They didn't want him associating with me anymore. And that is when, it seems, the team began to introduce the redundancy of the wireless Rode mic. Again, that was also admitted to me by Terrell Farnsworth on the phone. So that's not imagined. That's not to say that there wasn't, some random one-off event where he had that redundancy, but as a rule, this is not something that Charlie had. He just kept his handheld.
Dang it.
It was, it began in fall 2024, You're Being Brainwashed tour. And I should mention that at first, when they started introducing this, they did place the wireless mic on Charlie in a way that made audio sense. On the outside of his shirt. Take a look. This is September 5th, the University of Wisconsin in Madison.
Oh, where is it?
He had no mic. On September 11th, University of North Texas, he has the
This is a completely different microphone. That's a completely different microphone there.
Mic. There we go. But you can see it's on the outside of his shirt because that makes sense.
That depends if it's a windy day too, Maybe it made sense for that moment. Maybe they put it on the inside of the shirt because it didn't work out. Now, he does have a sock on this one. I wonder why he switched microphones, though. I don't know. Maybe it just wasn't as good of a microphone as the one he brought with him.
On September 18th, he was at the University of Pittsburgh. Again, you can see Tyler.
You notice that the microphone's not in the same position, Candace? Are you going to talk about that? Why did they go from this position where it's hanging down very low onto his chest and then they go all the way up here onto his collar. You don't mention that change, but it matters when it all of a sudden goes inside of his shirt.
Charlie has it on the outside of his shirt. That makes sense. Suddenly on October 8th at the University of Nevada in Reno, Charlie has it on the inside of his shirt.
Wow. It's almost like that was probably a windier day by looking from this guy's hair blown up. Probably a windy day. Her hair is kind of blown up backwards. You could see hair coming right here in front of her face. That's probably why, Candace. Common sense a little bit, but what, they stick it in there to just get him used to it, Candace? Is that what you're going to say?
And then we see on the 11th, it's on the inside of his shirt.
Yeah.
On October 30th, it's on the inside of his shirt.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? That's amazing.
This is that expression that I said to you that we use here in the States called boiling the frog slowly, right?
What were they radiating him?
Introducing something new so he doesn't really recognize it, and then changing one thing, getting him adapted to it so he doesn't really ask questions.
Unless he did that himself or preferred it that way, found out it worked better. Who knows?
And then, lo and behold, something doesn't really make sense, but you're kind of used to the thing that's not making sense. Boiling the frog slowly before he...
Candace, there are so many different microphone techniques. There are off-axis microphone techniques that work really well to prevent implosions. You see the difference there? Many different microphone techniques you know nothing about.
You know, it's getting really hot in here. It's time to jump outside of the pot. Now, the question is why, right? Why? Why would they do this if it doesn't make sense? Here is one of hundreds of emails that we received from audiovisual professionals. This person wrote, Candace and team, I'm an AV professional and I believe that you are onto something with the Rode Lav mic. The only reason for Charlie to be rigged with two mics would be because one was being sent to a broadcast recording or a live stream.
No. Those are not the only reasons. No. You are insane if you think those are the only reasons. Having a direct output, okay? An unobscured output, whenever you have a handheld mic and you're wanting to record a professional, line level audio coming out at a consistent level, instead of having the microphone move and constantly doing this from back here and up here and then all around and then doing all this stuff like that, you have a microphone that travels with you that keeps a consistent pace on your audio levels. So you don't have to edit audio up, audio down, edit out this sound, do all that. No, you just take the line from that microphone that's clipped to him, and it's going to be the same level throughout. It cuts down so much time on editing. Or they only recorded with that microphone, and the microphone was the handheld mic was only for the PA system to talk to the other people. I have no idea how they set it up per se, but that's just ridiculous. Great close-up on 9/21/2025, 8 months ago on YouTube channel, The Independent. Charlie Kirk's final moments at Utah University shown at memorial service. Hey, I appreciate that. That's a really good one that shows the mic. Let's see. We'll give that a try here real quick. We'll see. Boop. Okay, let's take 1,000 years. There we go. There we go. Let's see if I can get a good close-up of him here with his microphone on. When does he put the microphone on, though? Because here he is, but you could see there's no microphone. Good eye. Good eye.
That's a lot.
There we go. Shoot. Let's see. Yeah, that's pretty good and square. That's very diamond-shaped, actually. That's a little off. That's like a rhombus. Very diamond-shaped. Very, very diamond-shaped. What the heck? That is not... Even if you were to turn it up and square it. Whoa, that's interesting. Rode mic. Let's see what has that. Let's go to Sweetwater here. Yeah, no, this is very, very rectangular. It's not very diamondy. It couldn't have been this model. Interesting. What would have, how about, okay, so 3, wireless go. Maybe it was 2. When did the wireless 3 go come out? Rode Wireless Go. Let's see if the 2 had a diamondy shape to it. ME, let's see. Wireless Go 3, Wireless Go 3. Do they have a 2 still? I don't know if they even sell the 2. Here's the ME. What is the ME? Oh, the ME doesn't have the microphone. Gotcha. Or the clip. This is the Rode Go magnetic clip. And you can see it's not very diamond shape at all. What wireless mic has a diamond shaped magnet? The Hollyland Mark II. What is this? What is that? Is that what it looks like? Coin size and attached to your lapel. That looks like this? That's not right. Hollyland Mark II. Let's give that a shot. Ah, okay. Hollyland Mark II. Let's take a look at this. Okay. Can I get pictures of the actual thing? This right here. That's fascinating. Can I get the actual device by itself flipped over? Let's see. Ooh, this could be closer. It's not quite diamond shaped. That's the magnet. It's very round. That's not quite diamond shape. I don't know what they were talking about. That's a crazy look at. That's an expensive. That is an expensive portable microphone, though. Wow, that is very, very, very pricey. Okay. How about the Cinco G4? Never heard of that brand, but why did I get out of that? Let's take a look at that. So Cinco G3. Sennheiser. Oh, they have Sennheiser ones as well. Which one would have a diamond clasp mic? Let's take a look at this. Yep. Ooh. Could go there. What's the magnet look like? Oh, this is just clip-on only, though. I think they're full of crap. I think you're full of crap there, AI. I don't know. I have no idea. Oh, my stream crashed. Good. Glad that happened. Thank you, stinking stream. Jenny, for the $5 here. Great close. Oh, yeah. I did see that. Thank you. Thank you so much for that, by the way. Thank you all. Let me properly thank you guys. I feel like I've been distracted with all this stuff. Jenny for $10 there. And Eric for $10 as well. Thank you all both so much. Thank you, Papa, for joining. And thank you, Diana, for also joining. I just want to make sure I properly thank you guys. Thank you all so much. I don't know. I cannot see what that is. I'll have to take a look at it. I'll have to deep dive that a little later as to what microphone. An explosion does not behave like a gunshot, period. This is the most ignorant thing I've ever heard in my life. People are truly showing their ignorance if they push this theory or believe it. Yeah, I agree. It just doesn't... Well, I mean, I understand that it is an explosion to a degree when you fire off, but there's just no way that they chambered a Rode microphone to shoot a projectile. And at a bare minimum, even if it acted exactly like a firearm, there has to be kick. It has to go away from where it went from, not towards where it shot from. That's what's so frustrating. Lila Rose for $7 Canadian dues. Thank you. I probably shouldn't use dollar reduce. That's already Australia. That's not fair. Oh, yeah, that's right. We're calling Canadian dollar sorries. I forgot about that. For 7 sorries. Thank you so much for that, Lila. I appreciate that. I'm definitely sorry. Sorries is how it's pronounced. 7 Canadian sorries. Thank you so much.
Had both his handheld mic and the Rode mic been used to run audio to the PA system at the school using different channels, this would cause a myriad of issues that would present.
Yeah, you would never run it through the PA system. What are you talking about? That would be dumb.
And with interference, overlapping, and echo between the two channels. We need to find out about...
No. You can always run it in stereo. It would just still be stupid. Why would you do that?
this supposed recording or live stream was actually produced. If not, big red flag. Okay.
Yeah,
so we take a look at this. We take a look at the audiovisual team.
There is no way that is an audio visual like professional. They have no idea what they're talking about, first and foremost. First of all, why would you even assume that the second mic would ever be attached to the PA system? That's really stupid. Second of all, it's a direct line output. So it's just a safety. Like, whenever you mic up like cabinets and stuff like that, you usually use 2 or 3 microphones. I like to use 2. So you get 2 SM57s, and you can blend the sound of the 2 microphones really, really well. But also, there's some times where you want to, like, especially for like dry signal and stuff like that, you would run a reamp box, and that's going to look like this. Check this out. This is, think of this as kind of like a microphone, okay? You take this, you split your signal through this, and you run it directly into your interface. Now you have 2 signals. You have the guitar part that's coming out that will sound like this. Check it out. So it's... So we get the picture there, right? And then the other signal will sound like this. See how that works? 2 signals. There you go. So the reason why you have those 2 signals is because you have a very clean backup. It's really just that simple, honestly. Not a very complicated concept. Again, you would want to do that if you have a microphone moving around making noise. You would want to have a secure backup. It's just that simple.
We know Terrell Farnsworth is running this team. He has for over 10 years. Terrell Farnsworth is one of the quote-unquote originals, as I say. He was, as we explained to you throughout our Erica Kirk series, he grew up with Tyler Boyer. Him and Tyler's families grew up together. Him and Tyler's families went to high school together. They go back generations, to be frank with you. And, you know, as a part of this like Mormon clan, and Tyler was the one that was hiring everybody that was around Charlie Kirk. That's just a fact. So the next logical question is, who particularly on Terrell's team mic'd Charlie? And because, you know, this guy might just be guilty of the crime of being incompetent, whoever this guy is. What amateur AV guy thought it was a good idea to capture audio beneath a t-shirt, to record audio beneath...
Audio guy right here. Very smart idea, Candace.
...a t-shirt. And that answer is, the answer is a young man named Philip Goldsberry Jr., okay? I'm going to show you this video that was put together by ex-user Sam Parker. He's just unpacking the moment so you can see it, that Charlie gets mic'd up. And
Sam Parker blocked me the moment I disproved him, and he got mad and threw a fit. So screw that guy.
Also further explains how and why we are positively certain that it is a Rode Wireless Mic Pro that is put onto Charlie. Take a listen.
So here we're just seeing Philip Goldsberry clip it onto Charlie's shirt. Here's a few moments beforehand. We can see Philip Goldsberry has the Rode Wireless Pro microphone in his hand, and he's approaching Charlie with it. Okay. Here's another angle. You can see him holding the Rode Wireless Pro microphone in his hand, talking to, it looks like Terrell.
Yeah, and he doesn't even seem worried like it could explode in his hands.
Farnsworth. There it is in his right hand. You see that? That's the Rode Wireless Pro microphone.
Maybe. We don't know if it's Rode or not, but yeah.
Now we're going to see Philip Goldsberry sneak from behind Frank Turek there, and you can see the lapel magnet and the microphone transmitter in his hand. See that? Transmitter in one hand, lapel magnet in the other.
Okay.
Then I want you to see the dual charging storage cases or docking stations. This is how we know it's the Rode Wireless Pro microphone, because it comes...
Actually, no, it could have been the other one I showed, because they also have those.
With the dual charging cases and docking stations.
Mm-hmm.
There are also magnetic clips so that you can hide these behind your shirt or something like that. And all you'll see is just like a little magnet.
Oh, look at that. Look at that. Why is that idiot doing that? So all you see is just a magnet. Probably should have stopped the video a little early, Candace. Again, audio guy here. That is totally acceptable. Very much acceptable. Okay? Your shirt is not as, it's no thicker than really a pop filter. You realize that, right? A pop filter is no thicker than a shirt. It's no thinner than a shirt, really. Sometimes some people use pantyhose and stuff. Way too thin, in my opinion, does not block enough plosives.
Okay.
And here you can see that Philip Goldsberry secured it under Charlie's shirt next to the necklace.
Yeah, cool.
Okay. Under Charlie's shirt next to the necklace, it goes along.
The Rode microphone has its Rode like emblem on the microphone too. That's weird.
Long way
Might
of
not be
explaining why
Rode.
it looks like the necklace breaks first before Charlie is actually injured by any projectile. But more on that later. We want to focus here.
The necklace never broke. It stayed on his neck.
On the person who mic'd him, Philip Goldsberry Jr. I was already aware that it was Philip Goldsberry Jr. who had mic'd Charlie. I figured that out pretty soon, whoever everybody was on the team. And really, very early on, because I was running, down so many.
Yeah, her reaction was funny.
Different pathways. I really just did a tiny bit of digging into who he was. And I, of course, immediately rolled my eyes when I discovered that his father was a pastor, a reverend, who also happened to study psychology.
No way. Charlie Kirk, who started an entire faith-based TPUSA, has people that are involved in faith? Oh my gosh.
This was like, okay, we get it. Everybody is a pastor. We got Frank Turek here. We got Rob McCoy. We got everybody here is like the TPUSA faith. And so Phillips Goldsberry being raised by a pastor, just like
who would have thought that the people Charlie Kirk hired would have ended up being there?
I said, maybe give an eye roll. But things
you have to eye roll at pastors, though, don't you? You really hate those.
Interesting when we looked at, I guess, a little bit more about who his father is. Also, his name is Dr. Philip Goldsberry, so they have obviously the same name. That's his dad right there.
Cool.
He is a pastor in Arizona, and I asked my team to figure out just like basic facts about him. Like, where is he from? Like, is there going to be another connection here? What's he involved in as a pastor? And you guys, our connecting themes spreadsheet is probably going to grow a little bit longer.
Oh, I bet it is.
Because back in 2006, when Erica was getting her teen Miss America crown under the Trump Miss Universal organization, Dr. Philip Goldsberry co-founded a charitable organization which began doing work in Eastern Europe.
Wow.
The organization would come to be known as Soder Global Ministries. And of course, they were in Ukraine. And of course, they were in Romania.
Oh, not France. What happened to France there?
Helping to provide medical care to orphanages.
Yeah, well, there's a reason why a bunch of churches got involved in Romania. It's because Romania actually got rid of, like, their communism, and we started kind of flooding it with capitalism. When did that all happen again? What year was that? When did Romania join the EU? When was that? That was 2007, whenever they joined the EU. So, before that, Romania... What system did Romania have for government in 2006? Semi-presidential republic governed by the 1991 Constitution, which established a robust, it was still part of, like, Russia, right? Was Romania still allied with Russia in 2006? By that time, Romania had officially pivoted to the West, joining NATO. They joined NATO in 2004. Okay, so in 2003, they were, they signed a treaty. Oh, they weren't allies, but they signed a treaty. Okay, in July of 2003 to normalize diplomatic ties. However, this was standard diplomatic agreement. Okay, so what was it, 2002? Let's see. When was Romania last allied with Russia? What was that? I guess they haven't been allied since... Okay. Well, then what were they? What was Romania's... in 2002? I don't know. I can't remember what happened with Russia, with Romania. What was up with Romania before they joined NATO and before they joined the EU? What was up with that? I'll have to look back into it. I can't keep up with Russia or Romanian history at this point in time. I have no idea. So there is that. But I do know that they were not on great terms with the United States until 2010 or something like that.
I kid you not. I can't take it. I cannot take it. It's not possible. All of my homies are doing work in Eastern Europe, said nobody ever. It's just not possible. Look around, tag 10 of your homies, see how many people are doing ministry and work and helping Romanian orphans. This is not possible. Okay? But this is what,
because it did
this
happen.
is who Philip Goldsberry's dad is, and this is a fact. We verified it. We have pictures. Now, despite starting to do work before 2010, they didn't officially file paperwork for their global ministries until 2010, right? 2010 being the very year.
You just said despite them doing this in 2010, they didn't sign the paperwork till 2010. What did you mean to say?
That the Black Sea Rotational Force set up a base in Romania, which would subsequently be accused of trafficking and prostituting children. This is what landed Erica's Romanian angels in some hot water online when they realized she was partnering with Colonel Otto Buscher, and Colonel Otto Buscher was the person who was accused of doing this.
Wow, so accusations equal guilt. Gotcha.
Setting up this base and just trafficking children through it, okay? So today, Dr. Goldsberry is the chairman of the board of Soter Global Ministries. Here is his bio that was featured on their website. It has since been updated, but this is back in 2013. You can see, like I said, we have confirmed this is in fact his father. And here is their website, their current website, where they document their work in Eastern Europe. I said, I cannot make this up.
Yeah, I know. It'd be crazy if you made it up, wouldn't it? It's almost like they just documented all their crimes for everyone to see, right, Candace? Is that how it normally works?
2005, again, before they had legal paperwork that we could find, it says they provided medical care in Albania through primary care clinics in baby nurseries and orphanages and schools. Now, very surprised to hear that because I recently read that Ivanka discovered Albania this year. Can you take it full screen? So I can continue to read.
So funny.
In 2006, they provided medical care in Romania through primary care clinics in orphanages and schools. Please allow me to remind you that in these years, 2006, 2005, this is also when Tyler Boyer is out doing missionary work in this exact same region. In 2008, which this one I just think is weird, they taught basic hygiene and self-care techniques to orphans and the elderly in Ukraine, visited classrooms.
You think teaching them how to be hygienic is weird? Okay.
To provide education to the youth and adolescents regarding human trafficking, provided medical care through primary care clinic in a large state orphanage. 2010, they taught physicians in Albania basic and advanced life support.
Yeah, Romania has a bunch of, what do you call them? Like gypsies and stuff like that. Trafficking in Romania is very, very, very common. And so, yeah, you don't understand why people would be going there to advocate for not trafficking those people. I can only imagine why that is, Candace. Why do you think it's... Candace Owens thinks it's bad. She actually thinks it's bad to combat other countries like trafficking.
Skills in rigorous 3-day seminar. They visited a shelter for human trafficking victims and provided basic first aid instruction. Guys, this can't keep being a theme.
You really hate it when people try to help out orphans, huh?
Sucks. Do we agree that this isn't real?
Yeah, it's real.
Do we all just got to get the sense that this isn't possible, that everybody around Turning Point USA Faith is involved in human sex trafficking organizations and in the region of Eastern Europe?
You forgot the anti
and
part.
Somehow, some way, it seems like they're crossing paths potentially, but they don't want to answer any questions like Erica about why I'm hearing from people that she's hanging out at the same model office as Jeffrey Epstein.
She never hung out there. She did an interview and then never went back.
a woman that went down who was very close to Jeffrey Epstein.
To a modeling
because
agency.
Eastern European models seem to be being trafficked through her firm. Does anybody find all of this to be very strange? That
No, Candace. Get proof. I don't care about how strange things look. Get proof.
almost to the day that Charlie and Erica go on their first date is when Jeffrey Epstein goes down. 2019, I think it was August of 2019 that Jeffrey Epstein kills himself. I can't accept this as reality. I can't accept that all of these people didn't know each other and got together like, oh my gosh, me too. I was there.
Candace, I could probably find out where you have went throughout your whole life, and you were probably always somewhere near somebody doing something awful. It's not that difficult.
In Romania doing stuff for orphans too. Oh my God, you too? That's so strange. How amazing. How godly. Too amazing, guys. Too amazing to be believed. Everyone at Turning Point USA just has this bizarre connection to Romania and Ukraine and orphans, and I just can't shake this feeling that they all somehow knew each other. I mean, we know Tyler and Erica and Terrell Farnsworth certainly knew each other. We know that for a fact. We proved that in our Erica Kirk series. We showed how they
You didn't have to prove it. They never denied it.
crossed paths, how they knew each other. But man, oh man, all of these pastors and the donors and Eastern Europe, it makes me uncomfortable. It makes my skin crawl. And I'm going to show you where we're at right now on our Connecting Themes spreadsheet as we take a look at the Eastern European connection. That plane, don't forget, that left on the day of Charlie's assassination, the 888 plane, was formerly registered in Romania before it was registered there. And the owners of that plane today help with trafficking victims. In late 2012, we know that Erica.
So you mean tell me that they ended up getting rid of it at that point in time? Like they got rid of their plane and they gave it to real people who ended up helping victims out? Okay.
Begins her Romanian Angels project and is working with Otto Buscher in some capacity, because the U.S. Marines is where she's doing this on the U.S. Marine base, partnered with them, as she says. Tyler Boyer, we know in 2011, went to Romania to work with the Romanian government. 2013, Tyler Boyer posts a photo of himself with a Ukrainian orphan named Natalia. She doesn't speak any English, and he claims to be helping an adoption agency program. I think we have that photo. I don't know if you have it handy. If not, no worries.
You should contact her, see what she says.
Here we go. Like, that's weird. Like, do we look at these people and go, oh, they're all just...
If I saw this person here and they were like terrified or something, maybe.
Such great people. This is really what they're doing. I don't feel that way. Next up, we have Pastor Greg Laurie's church, Harvest Church. Immediately, Erica went on tour after Charlie's assassination with Pastor Greg Laurie, and they are currently being taken through the court system because they are being credibly accused of trafficking from Romania. Greg Laurie is not denying that something took place in Romania. He's saying it's not a broader church issue. It's just this guy at the church who was doing it. We'll see how that plays out. Andrew Colvet's brother, Curtis, is currently stationed in Romania as a lieutenant colonel, or he was stationed in Romania as a lieutenant colonel recently. Tyler Boyer holds a degree in Russian studies. He's fluent in Russian, and he lived in Russia for 2 years and spent time in the Ukraine during that time. Rob McQuarrie also adopted a 12-year-old girl named Natalia from Russia in 2006. We already discussed Greg Laurie. I think I had that point on there twice. Phil Goldsberry, we now add him to our list. Soder Global Ministries in 2006, which does charity work. Did charity work at orphanages, teaching people hygiene or something in Romania, Albania, and in the Ukraine. And we could go through all of the people who are somehow involved in the charity of sex trafficking, even up to their biggest donor of Turning Point USA, Nelda Buckman, extensively involved in rescuing children from being sexually abused and trafficked. Again, I'll ask the question, why does this make my skin crawl? Does this seem normal to you?
Candace, I don't
as
really
a theme
care.
that keeps coming up? I told you.
I just don't care about
Charlie
your speculation. I just don't care, Candace. I don't care if you're creeped out. I don't care what is going on in your little head. Get proof something weird is happening instead of just constantly ragging on them and going, I don't feel this is good. I don't feel like They're doing good things in Romania. You mean to tell me you can't contact one freaking Romanian person to be like, hey, what's going on here? And then have like some sort of investigation like on your end? You don't have any connections to anybody who could look into this? You've been harping on this for like 9 months now, Candace. Tell me if anything's actually happening in Romania, or if you just feel like it's happening, like something bad's happening. Like, that's so stupid.
Erica, she brought the quote-unquote faith. And she stayed with Faith, and she constantly involved herself in Faith, and she guided him on who he should have around him on the basis of faith. People like Victor Marx, who tells us his wife, Eileen, is like a mentor to her. Everyone who's a mentor to Erica gives me the heebie-jeebies. And we're supposed to believe that Erica's somehow different? No, because she gives everybody the heebie-jeebies. Every time she speaks, people are going, something's not right. I don't feel comfortable around her.
Cool. Well, you give me the heebie-jeebies, Candace, so now what?
Refuse to accept that this is a coincidence. It feels to me like a broader conspiracy. It feels to me like all these people know each other from another life.
God, I just love how you have feeling after feeling after feeling. Just get proof. This is so stupid. This is not right, Candace. This is not how people need to be handling themselves. If you have a problem with somebody, find evidence first that they're doing something bad. You don't just automatically assume the worst. That's a terrible thing to do. That is a terrible, terrible, terrible thing to do. You should be so ashamed of yourself. Like, it's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting, Candace. Just a terrible person. Horrible person.
And they sort of infiltrated Turning Point USA. That's how I feel.
I don't care about how you feel.
But I have to say, bless Terrell Farnsworth, the CEO of Visual Impulse, longtime audio and visual guy for Charlie and Turning Point USA, who was an absolute nervous wreck when I spoke to him by phone following the assassination. It was Terrell single-handedly who was the person who made me realize that something was very wrong with September 10th.
Well, what was it?
His mere presence there. That was new. His assertion to me that they were trying something new. That's why he started going to these sorts of events that required him to oversee the audio division. His absurd claim, patently absurd claim, that he did not know how to send a video file, which then transformed into him expressing a bizarre fear that he didn't want to send it because he thought Google was going to hack him. Really, Terrell?
Find proof.
Because he also informed me, and this is why I say bless him, that they were live streaming the event to the ops back in Phoenix. That's a direct quote. The ops back in Phoenix. They were apparently watching that event back live. Why? He told me because Charlie wanted the clips to be cut immediately. He was constantly working to be faster, and that goes some way of answering the person who emailed us and said, where was this being live streamed? That's a good question, because that microphone must have caught something, right? Curiously, when I asked him...
Well, not if it's a bomb, Candace. If it's a bomb, it clearly didn't catch anything. Like, why would they bother even use it if it was a bomb? Like, what are you talking about? So they went ahead and had it record all the way till it exploded? Why? Why would that happen? For all we know, this live stream thing may have been a Patreon event. And it was all being stored in private and tested out first. Who knows?
And whether or not those ops were stationed at the Turning Point headquarters, he told me no. Unclear where in Phoenix exactly these ops were watching Charlie die. Who were these ops? This should be a very easy data point that we can confirm, but we can't. Okay? We've exhausted every resource at Turning Point USA, employees current and former, and the response that we have received across the board is the same. They were told it was being live streamed, but nobody knows where exactly. How is that possible? Why?
That's a good question, actually. Maybe they'll answer that question. I have no idea. Who were they live streaming it to? I'd like to find out myself, to be honest. It's not a bad question. I'll give it to her.
Why would Charlie not want the clips to be live streamed to his office if that's true? If what Terrell told me is true, where was it going? Who was watching it? Who are the ops? Are they the real ops? All of this is tremendously interesting, and we should get to the bottom of it. It makes entirely no sense that the police did not take a lot of this stuff into evidence The feds did not take a lot of this stuff into evidence. I mean, how pointedly ridiculous that they gave Erica the necklace back. And also, where are Charlie's clothes that he was wearing? Right?
Okay. Well, I didn't want to make a weird joke here, but Candace, you set yourself up for that one.
Where are Charlie's clothes that he was wearing on that day? Because
wear a shirt or something?
If I'm Tyler Robinson's defense, I would be requesting that white Freedom shirt that he was wearing. Where I feel what was meant to happen is the explosive, the shaped charge was actually supposed to hit him in the chest. It was supposed to look like he got shot in the chest. People wouldn't have questioned it because the blood obviously would have gone.
Okay, but why would you think that? Like, that just doesn't make any sense at all, because then he wouldn't have a hole in his shirt.
Onto his shirt. People would have seen that and assumed he got hit in the chest.
Yeah, and then they would have been like, oh, there's no hole in the shirt. How is that possible?
Where's that t-shirt? I don't see it listed
So dumb.
as evidence in the court hearing.
So dumb.
On his defense, I would find that t-shirt and I would have it tested.
You would have it, what?
Tested for explosive residue, which might be maintained in the fabric particles.
Okay, go ahead.
That's assuming the shirt was even collected and stored by the feds, because I bet it wasn't, given the fact.
Yeah, I bet it was probably cut right off of him. I bet they cut it right off of him in the hospital.
They didn't even store his handheld microphone as evidence. How is it possible that Turning Point USA has that microphone? Think deeply about how truly bonkers it is.
What? Candace, did they take his shoes too? What, are they going to keep his car keys for evidence as well? You don't just take every single thing and decide it's evidence. That's not how it works. They have to have reason to believe. That's somebody's property. It's TPUSA's property. They're not going to just take all of TPUSA's property that was there if they have no reason to believe it was ever involved in a crime. Do you believe that his handheld microphone was ever involved in a crime? What? That just doesn't make any sense. Yeah, she looks like she's fixing to lick something. She's like, I don't know. I don't even know what kind of face that is. That is creepy.
That the handheld mic, which contained that immediate blood spatter that we showed you.
Oh, what did they need to do? Verify that the blood spatter was like, I don't know, authentically Charlie's on it?
It went forward. The immediate blood spatter is on Charlie's left hand.
Yeah, that's because his neck just spills everything out.
And it is on the microphone. And the feds deemed it appropriate to give that to Turning Point USA so that they could put it in a glass in.
Yes, Candace, they cannot withhold private property that's not involved in a crime. What could the microphone have solved? Tell me.
Casement and raise money off of it. Make that make sense. Why does it seem that everything that contained critical evidence was immediately returned to Erica, Charlie?
What was critical evidence about the microphone, Candace? Can you iterate that for me, please? What could they have used that for? Here, Your Honor, this is the very microphone Charlie Kirk was holding. Okay, what do we got here? Well, he was holding it, and there's some blood of his that got on it. Very good, thank you. What? Candace, please lay off the pipe. Come on, this is bad. Eric for the 5 says, the shirt would have been cut off, and if the cops said they didn't want it, it would have been disposed of as a biohazard risk. Exactly, it definitely would have. It just doesn't make sense, though. It does not make any sense at all. Like, why? Unless there was something in the shirt. Maybe they should have kept the shirt and tested it. Maybe. I'm not going to sit there and say that was a good move or a bad move. It's always possible that they somehow got this bomb so good that it did everything that it's saying. Candace could be onto something, technically. The problem is there's too many holes in the story. Explosion goes off. No scorching in the white shirt. That's nearly impossible. For it to cross over under his shirt into his neck without ever showing any hint of a projectile. There's no flash. There's, Oh gosh, there's so many different things you could say about it. There's no kickback from it at all. If it explodes, you would expect it to go opposite, not towards him. Like, there's so many holes in her theory here. It just doesn't make sense. And if it doesn't make sense, I can't go along with it.
Charlie's cell phone the night before, text messages expressing his fear that he was going to be killed. We're supposed to
prove that. Prove that right now that those messages exist.
Believe he thought he was going to be killed by a
prove it.
Trans furry.
Prove it.
That was it. The night before, he just, after having an argument and saying he was leaving the pro-Israel cause and having.
So when did he have an argument, really? How did that resolve? Show us the rest of the text messages.
A rabbi call him and Josh Hammer call him, and he's on this group text and he's saying, you guys.
Okay. Well, Candace, if they've been preparing for months to kill him, and then he turns on Israel, then that's when they finally do it. They're like, just in case he turns on us, let's make him mad. Let's do everything else. Let's genuinely plot the death of Charlie Kirk months in advance. But we'll wait for him to finally turn on us because we know he's going to turn pretty quickly.
Keep the money. I don't want it. He went to bed that night and he was worried about a trans furry killing him. And he texted his team and said,
yep. And he never once decided ever to say, I think Israel's trying to kill me. Never once ever decides to say that. He just says, what?
That's who's going to kill me.
Who?
Have those messages been subpoenaed? Why was his phone given to Erica as opposed to being held in evidence?
Show proof that they exist.
Charlie's bloody microphone given to Turning Point USA more broadly.
Yeah, the bloody microphone would have been given to him. There's no problem with the microphone whatsoever.
Given to Erica to sulk over. Charlie's necklace. Everything was handed over to Erica. Why? I suspect.
I guess the necklace also would have been part of it, right?
Because they were ushering us into the era of the widow. No one can question the widow. You don't have a heart. What do you mean? How dare anybody question why she wants to wear her husband's pendant?
Such an evil thing.
Why she wants to cry over the bloody microphone as she raises money to the highest bidder? How dare anybody question why she wants to be surrounded by the evidence to commemorate Charlie Kirk? That's the reason they're doing that.
No, it's not.
But let me tell you, it is high time that we ask questions about why she was given any of that stuff, and it would be...
Like, I just want to know. Google says Charlie's shirt was kept for evidence. Oh, really? Oh, it was. Oh, this could come out in court. This could make Candace look really, really stupid. Hold on a second. Yeah, let's pull this up. Let's pull it up. This will be great. Grok. So we got this. Let's see. What happened to Charlie Kirk's white freedom shirt? Okay, let's see. We'll definitely take a look at that. That'll be interesting, won't it? Anyway, let's keep going.
Very good for somebody to find out where Charlie's clothes are, particularly that white freedom shirt that he was wearing on the day of his assassination.
Good job.
We'll be right
that,
back after a brief break.
Get there.
All right, you guys, right now there's...
I don't want to hear your brief breaks. Gross. We'll be right back. I have to queef in the toilet. I don't know why I said that out loud. That was stupid. It's so good. Zach Hadall made that joke, though, so I can't take that credit. But it's a very, very, very funny thing. Also, thank you so much, Anna. Thank you very much for that 5. I really appreciate that. Let's see. What happened to the specific shirt he was wearing? The shirt on him at the moment of the fatal, all that, it became blood stained from the wound, videos and photo from in the shirt moments before, all this stuff. Yeah, we know. There are no public details or reports about the exact fate of that specific physical shirt after the incident. In standard homicide assassination investigations, the victim's clothing is routinely collected by law enforcement as forensic evidence for blood spatter analysis, bullet trajectory, fragments, recovery, DNA, gunshot. It would have been documented, preserved as held part of the case file. Okay. All right. So, let's see here. All right. Come on. There we go. All right.
I cannot stress to you guys enough, Jeffrey Epstein operated a global trafficking ring.
Yep, we know.
And he worked, according to him and his emails, for the Rothschilds. That is not a network that would have been allowed to simply go down because he got arrested. That is not a man that they would have simply allowed to rot away in prison and said, okay, well, we got caught.
I'm guessing not.
And
yeah, okay.
I have this deep suspicion that the Charlie Kirk assassination is connected to the Jeffrey Epstein world. I just do. That's how I feel.
This is probably one of the most profoundly stupid things I think I've ever heard in my life, that you would just openly say that. Do I feel that way too? I guess I do, especially through like the trans Antifa underground people connected to maybe some FBI members or something like that. Maybe. But I have no idea. There's no evidence. Why would you just come out and be like, I feel that way? That's something that you're just like, I wonder if that's part of that. You know what I mean? But to sit there and be like, oh, I just feel like it has to be. I'm just going to start another theory that it's definitely connected to Epstein, because you're poisoning the well. You're doing this, and then you're going to start pulling in people like Donald Trump and saying, oh, he's definitely part of it. I bet she mentions that in this episode, that she thinks Trump is part of it.
And every little bit of data that we get further supports that, from Tucker Carlson's speech, absolutely destroying Jeffrey Epstein, asking questions about where people's money was coming from. When you don't know how people are making money, it means they're not making it in a good way, no matter how much they dress it up or try to present themselves as a businessman. That is the story of Jeffrey Epstein. We were working on an Epstein series when all of this happened. We were working on an Epstein series when Charlie Kirk was assassinated.
But you just moved on, queen of not moving on.
Charlie was asking a lot of questions about Jeffrey Epstein, and then he got a phone call from the president of the United States asking him to stop doing that, saying that it was making. Why would Trump tell him to stop doing that?
Can you prove that? Can you prove that for me? And I knew she was going to loop Trump into this.
It doesn't make any sense. I
because it probably
feel
didn't
like
happen.
the Epstein network, and again, this is my opinion. None of this is a fact, but it is my opinion, given all of the research that we have done over the past 9 months. It is my
At least she said it was her opinion. That's very rare.
Opinion that Jeffrey Epstein's network reemerged in the not-for-profit world, in the church world, in the pastor world, because we all know that these pastors are not sounding right to us. Their obsession with Israel.
Yeah, we get it. We get it. You hate pastors. We get it. We totally understand. You hate religious figures. You hate scripture. You hate pastors.
Their nastiness toward anybody who is questioning the Charlie Kirk narrative when there are such obvious holes in the story. That means they have another boss. They are not committed to truth. They are not committed to the word, Jesus Christ. That is not what they are in the business of. They are in the business of psychology.
Can you prove any of that, though? That's a heck of an accusation, Candace. Can you prove that for me?
And trying to convince people that because they're holding a Bible, it's not possible for them to be involved in anything dirty. I strongly disagree with that.
I don't think any one of them has come out and said that either. Nobody has came out and said that. But we know that you won't even crack yours open and read it. You won't.
I think Charlie's assassination is exposing something much bigger than we could have ever imagined. Anyway, I want to show you another discrepancy, another September 10th discrepancy. This time it is pertaining to CPR. You heard Andrew Colvett earlier say, we showed you the clip of him on Laura Ingraham saying about the necklace that it was removed as they were trying to save his life. Perhaps the implication being that that necklace was removed because they were trying to do CPR. Well, if you think they did CPR, you would be right and you would be wrong, depending on who you listened to that was in the car on the way to the hospital.
Yeah, they didn't do CPR. They packed the wound.
Here is what Frank Turek has to say about CPR.
We're cutting through intersections, we're just beeping the horn. This is not a emergency vehicle. There's no lights. There's none of this. And I go, we got to start CPR. So I try and start that. We were giving him CPR, but nothing was happening. It wasn't like if we had better first aid or we had better medical facilities or we were faster to the hospital, we could have saved him. We couldn't.
So they attempted CPR and it didn't work. Now here's Brian Harpole, and he's not going to say that they attempted CPR at all. Take a listen.
Frank's just praying out loud, and Rick's praying, and I can hear just the car revving, just going hard, and I hear Dan just calling out the directions to Justin, so he doesn't have to look at anything but the road, and we get there.
Was CPR being conducted during this time?
No, because right now I got to stop that bleeding.
Yeah, no, I had heard conflicting reports, and I was a little confused by that. Like, we can't start doing CPR before the bleeding stops. Right. And people don't understand that.
Prioritization of care, right? Yeah. And so it's like, I've got to get that bleeding stopped before. And then I knew that we were not that far from the hospital. And the human body can, so I got to stop that bleeding,
The thing about it is CPR is not very effective at all, believe it or not. You can save somebody's life with CPR. You can also kill somebody very easily with CPR. When you do CPR on a chest, and I guarantee you Candace has never, ever, ever, ever in her entire life done CPR on anybody, and I guarantee you she probably hasn't done even a CPR class, the amount, you have to compress that chest far down. You do break bones. If you're not breaking bones doing CPR, you're not even doing CPR. That's a fact. So at the end of the day, CPR, you can get the heart to move blood. The whole point is to push the heart until it pushes blood out. You blood up, it sucks blood back in, you push it down, but you have to break bones to do it. You have to have a stable ground to do it too. It's not that easy.
Yeah, I just got to stop the bleeding.
Yeah. So that's another discrepancy that they're not going to answer for. In fact,
I will give her that, though. That is a discrepancy. He did say he was doing CPR, and then it turned out they weren't doing CPR. That's something I can't explain away. There's little, discrepancies. There's Frank Turek saying that he was on the phone the whole time, and then turned out he wasn't, maybe. Maybe he wasn't. He could have had a second phone. He could have done something else. So I can't fully discredit that at all. It's a little tiny discrepancy. And then there's this that's like, this actually is a discrepancy. This is the only one I've really heard so far. A little bit of conflicting story. I don't think that's enough to shift me on it, though. Actually, I know for a fact that's not enough to shift me. I need way more evidence than that, Candace. I can give that to you. Okay? Throw enough at the wall, something might stick, I guess. Good job after 9 months making this piece of evidence being really it that you have. It's not great for you, Candace. It's really not. I would really refrain. If I were you, Candace, I would really refrain from saying this happened without evidence. Like, if you just stopped doing that, you'd be so much more believable. It's crazy.
In fact, I think even Rob McCoy doubled down on stage. I think we have that clip, and said that Frank Turek on the way to the hospital conducted CER. But Brian Harpole just said that Frank Turek was just in the backseat praying.
Might actually hold
take a listen to what Rob McCoy had to say.
That was Frank Turek.
Floating perfectly. Is that okay?
He was covered in blood because he was giving Charlie CPR.
Yeah.
Was he just in the backseat praying?
He did say that. The problem is he was never there. He never saw that. So when he said that, his son probably said something along the lines to his dad. I know this is going to sound, this is a typical thing. Dad, I was right there. I saw him, and I jumped right there on him and started helping give him CPR, and then I had to go and call, Erica. And he was probably like, I'm very proud of you, son. And then it turned out that might not have been exactly true, and, his dad may not have known that wasn't true. You know what I mean? I bet that was probably one of those stories he told his dad. He was like, oh, Dad, you shouldn't have said that out loud. You know what I mean? People do that. People do that to boast themselves, and they do that to make themselves sound like they were more part of the action when they were there. When in reality, that didn't happen at all. It didn't happen. Mikey McCoy didn't jump on there and start doing life-saving CPR. Or whatever life-saving CPR that could have been. But that just didn't happen. We saw it on video, right? But his dad was the only person to say that, and his dad wasn't there. I'm sure his son was trying to sound like he was a little less afraid and more involved than what he was. Told his dad that in confidence, and then his dad went and told the world. And wasn't a smart thing to do, in my opinion. But that's not really a discrepancy at all. That's just a kid boasting to his father.
Was he giving Charlie CPR? Actually, it's a good question, because Frank Turek then does say that at the hospital, Mikey was so great, and they gave them scrubs, and they all had to change because they were covered in blood. Well, why was he covered in blood?
Well, they were in the vehicle at that point in time. I can imagine a lot of them probably getting covered in blood in the vehicle because that's a confined space with Charlie. That's probably a lot different.
We certainly saw that he didn't touch Charlie while they got into the car. We saw that he got into the back seat. That would kind of fit Brian's narrative that he was in the back seat and wasn't too involved and didn't have blood all over him. Also, if he changed into scrubs, why were his kids still on FaceTime the whole time? They were just sitting in a puddle of it.
Do you know if when he took his clothes off, or you could sometimes just put scrubs on over your clothes too. They have many different types of scrubs, Candace. I don't know if you've ever been to a hospital before, but they have many different types. You can gown up. They call it gowning up. It's whenever you simply just put a whole gown of like papery, very weird material. It's like a nylon, but it's also like a paper. And you could put it on all over you, all over your clothes and everything. You don't have to take any clothing off. It just goes right on over you. You get a nice little shower cap looking thing as well. It looks ridiculous, okay? But it keeps you sterilized. It's a bad word to use for a bunch of guys. It keeps you sterile in a sterile environment. Let's put it that way. So you don't contaminate anything. You get little thin paper gloves. They're all disposable. So more than likely, that's what happened. I know you don't understand how hospitals work, Candace, but I really genuinely do. My wife's been doing this for 10 years.
Of their dad's pants and shirts while the dad was wearing scrubs. None of this is making any sense. None of these stories are adding up.
No, actually, that makes perfect sense, Candace. You're just an idiot. You don't know that gowning up is literally just putting stuff on over your clothing.
To this is to simply smear
dumb.
people, to threaten lawsuits, and to send cease and desists, as if that's going to make us think that they're telling the truth. Nope, far from it. Far from it. I just feel that Charlie was surrounded by complete and utter psychopaths, truly, because it does not make sense why you would not just simply answer or have a debate or have a discussion and clear some things up. And
Candace, you fled a debate. What are you talking about? They invited you over to Arizona. Or was it in Arizona? I don't know if it was in Arizona or not. I can't remember. But they invited you to debate live, Candace. Live. And you turned it down. You turned it down. So then you're like, oh, they're not really wanting to have a debate. You fled a debate against them. That's you. You did that.
By the way, I want to say there may be valid reasons for all of this. Like I said, there may be an explanation for how Erica was supporting herself, how she was flying around the world, living in New York City, why all of them are somehow connected.
Talking about Erica was rich. What do you mean? She was very, very, very wealthy growing up. What? You're surprised she was able to travel all over the world? What? This is so blatantly stupid. By the way, if you guys are new here, please give me a like and subscribe. Thank you all so much for being here. Thank you all so much for everything y'all are doing. If anybody's interested in joining members, it's there. Just putting it out there. Thank you all so much for being here.
To Eastern Europe at a time where, just to be clear, when you're in a country after a conflict, after a civil war, and you're in a corrupt country, we know.
They had a civil war. What year was that? That had to be like 2006, right? When was Romanian Civil War? When was the Romanian Civil War? Oh, never mind. The Romanian Civil War was 1989. Okay. Well, I'm sure there was still a lot of issues coming from then. Yeah, they had to get a lot of their crap together and build up their government right. That probably took over a decade.
That trafficking takes place all the time. We know that these trafficking scandals are real. We know that there have been scandals in the past, which we'll unpack tomorrow, that our government and our military were involved in. There may be a valid explanation for all of that.
Maybe.
But the fact that they're not willing to sit down and clarify these points...
It's probably because a lot of it's classified. Get your tongue back in.
Doesn't bode well for them. I don't think it bodes well for them. I don't think anybody looking at Erica Kirk, who is not somehow being paid.
Well, you don't think you got that part right.
To hold a positive perspective of her. I don't think anybody reasonably thinks that she's a victim. No. She comes across like a player in this. At best, as somebody who formerly worked for them said online yesterday, at best, she's very suspicious. At worst, she seems to be an accessory to a cover-up.
See what you got there, Madness?
Certainly a cover-up, because there's so many things that she could do to help clarify matters other than just perform and cry. She could give access to so many investigators that are on the ground, who are just independent investigators that are.
You could also get independent investigators, Candace, and have, them investigate things. You could have had a private investigator go to UVU. You could have had a private investigator going to any of these places. You could have had a private investigator over in Romania. Yet you don't do any of that.
Trying to get answers to basic questions. She could clarify things that she's done in the past. She could clarify things that happened that day. She could show his text messages to prove that he really was scared that a trans person on a rooftop was going to kill him the night before. None of that.
Candace, you need to show proof that he even said anything like that. You have no idea. Show proof.
None of this stuff would impact the court case. So don't give me the crap about, well, how's it going to ruin your court case if it's the truth? Actually, that would bolster your court case. Look, here's his message. Charlie was terrified that this might happen, and look, it did. He thought a transfer.
It would also bolster your whole conspiracy theory garbage, Candace. It would bolster all that if you just got an investigator and did some work.
I was going to kill him. He said it the night before, and then it did.
Prove he said that.
Something's not right. Anyway, on to something funnier that made me chuckle yesterday. I was just like scrolling through Twitter, and I always try to stay away from the pettier things about Erica that don't register as right, but I just go, okay, it's a little too petty when people talk about her outfits, wearing the glitter pants and things like that. Yeah, it does kind of build a profile of somebody, but I have certainly in our Erica series stayed away from her outfits and the things that she's wearing that are quite strange. I personally just say that I think her stylist is just deeply dislikes her, whoever it is, deeply dislikes her. And it's their way to contribute to the investigation by styling her in ridiculous outfits.
Candace, you are an idiot. You're just an absolute cold-blooded idiot. Wow. Her stylist is supposed to hate her. Ha, 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 ha. Look, yeah, sure. No judging here. By all means. Let's see your stylist fix this here.
But
look at that. I didn't even have to click very far. I just clicked one click over. Yeah, your stylist must really like you, Candace.
And it's their way to contribute to the investigation by styling her in ridiculous outfits.
Yeah, sure.
But I did see this tweet, and it's something that in the back of my mind has been bothering me for a very long time. And I laughed so loud because I was like, okay, this is one little petty thing that I promise you I have thought for a very long time was strange. And this person just tweeted it, so I laughed. This is in jest, guys. But she wrote, can we just discuss Erica's signature for a minute? It's difficult to decipher, but she writes Erica Lane Kirk in the most psychopathic way possible. And I promise you, this little detail is, I've been like, what is this signature? Why does it look like she's crossing out her own lane, her own name? It looks to me like when
it says she has crap handwriting. So do I. And I don't have a very steady hand, but I guarantee you I could play any instrument better than you. Who cares? Some people don't have good signatures.
Kid in a scary movie, you know how they're drawing a nice little picture of their family and they're like, ah, it's like, that's what I get when I look at her signature. Why is it scratched out like that? It's so strange. And then somebody in the comments, of course, because there's just so much psychoanalytical literature out there.
If any part of Candace Owens' theories here are correct, if she is correct about almost everything that's going on about with Charlie and TPUSA and all that, I really hope the one part that's not correct is Erica Kirk's involvement. I really would hope that it actually would turn out that Erica Kirk was majorly held hostage and her kids were threatened and stuff like that, so she had to capitulate. That way, one of these days, if Candace Owens ever did find that out, she could look back on all the times she mocked Erica Kirk and called her evil and a psychopath and stuff like that, when all she was doing was sitting there trying to protect her kids. And I hope if something like that ever did happen, that Candace would have a lifelong fill of guilt for every single miserable day of the rest of her life. Because the fact of the matter is Candace Owens constantly calls out Erica Kirk, calls her evil and everything with zero evidence whatsoever. Zero evidence. Best case scenario, even so, if no one in TPUSA is involved whatsoever, and obviously, Tyler Robinson's the guy behind all this. Everything plays out exactly that way, right? And if Candace Owens somehow manages to actually admit that that's what happened, boy, would I also hope that she is quite as guilty. I don't think she would feel the same level of guilt. She'd be like, well, you all made it suspicious, so blah, blah, blah. But if it turned out that Erica Kirk was actually being held hostage and that ever came out to be proven, Oh boy, would I ever hope that Candace Owens has a lifelong fill of guilt for that every single day for the rest of her life. Because she deserves it. She genuinely deserves it. How dare you come out and accuse all of these people of being bad people with zero freaking evidence? It's so wrong. I can understand her coming out and having, how would I put it? Suspicions and things along those lines and going, they're being weird. I don't like that they're acting like this. This kind of weirds me out, stuff like that, right? I don't mind that. What I mind is when you go, she's a Black Widow. She killed Charlie Kirk. She did this. She did that. They're all doing this, but I don't have to provide proof for anything I say. I'm just asking questions. And it's like, those are statements. What are you talking about? It's so evil when she has to lie like that.
Of course, there's some behavioral analysis of people's signatures and how they sign their names. And factually, this person showed the scratch out effect on the bottom, that they have the psychological and behavioral analysis have studied signatures to figure out whether or not they could determine patterns regarding people's strokes. And there is something called the scratch out effect, not the strike through up there, but the scratch out effect. Visually, a strike through resembles crossing something out. And analysts often interpret this as a subconscious desire to negate, hide, or alter one's own identity. I am telling you, there is a pocket of the internet for positively everything. I'm going to submit my...
Candace, you're an insane psychopath. There's no way I can believe, if Candace Owens ends up being right about any of this, I'm going to be so angry. Angry that the universe was set up this way. You know what I mean? At this point, I have to be so careful with myself with how Candace conducts herself, with how awful she is, that there's just no reasonable way that I would ever want to entertain any of her theories. And that's not right for me to do. That's not right for me to do. But she makes herself so unbelievably unlikable, so pompous, so rude, so, what does this signature have anything to do with Charlie Kirk? You're like, oh, by the way, I'm just gonna go straight for the insult on anything I can find. And it's like, who does that? Who does that? That is a psychotic thing to do. It is genuinely psychotic. There is no redeeming Candace Owens. Even if she's correct, the way she went about all of this is wrong and evil. Making accusations without proof is wrong and evil. Mocking somebody just because you want to mock them because you don't like them now, you fabricated a reason to not like them, is evil. I don't care what anyone says. Candace could be 100% right about everything that has taken place, and she would still be an evil, manipulative psychopath in my eyes. By the way she has conducted herself, it's not redeemable, even if she were actually correct. It's so unbearable. Unbearable. I don't blame her for having questions. I don't blame her for thinking this could be a conspiracy. I don't even blame her for thinking TPUSA could be behind it. The problem is she's made the claim that they are behind it. Not could be, are behind it. And that's the issue I have.
Signature for behavioral analysis. I think my signature is okay. I think you guys have seen it. We used to have it in the corner of this thing, but my signature is cursive, not strike through. Anyway, that just made me LOL because I was going, I promise you, I have had this very thought in the back of my head, what is this bizarre signature? And someone said it. Someone always says the quiet part out loud. Anyway, we'll be right back after a brief break. All right, you guys, way before the food.
I know how this bridge is floating. I was in C standard. Now I'm in a weird open D tuning, which is actually a slightly higher tuning. Some strings have... Okay, never mind. I'm silly. I'm a silly boy. Let's get to these comments.
Code episode small town girl.
Oh my god, that one's really funny. I could not help that.
All right, you guys, top comment from yesterday's episode. Small town girl writes, our girl has shifted into another gear. These last few episodes have been Butler, Trump, John Bray, the Golden Pager. There's a reason the FBI lost their mind yesterday. Thank you. I am obviously deeply interested in all these topics. And there's another character.
You called them out in front of millions of people saying they did wrong when they didn't. I'd be a little upset too.
That I want to introduce tomorrow to you guys, which shockingly led us back to Bosnia and Romania and human trafficking. And I'm personally of the opinion that
France is
this
the
could
new
all be
Romania.
related to Jeffrey Epstein, like I said to you, and I cannot ignore the behavior of this administration when it comes to Epstein. And I think, like the rest of the world, our general vibe, our gut, our intuition tells us that Israel was involved in Charlie Kirk's assassination.
Get some proof, you freaking frog.
It feels like common sense. And
Feels like common
yeah,
sense?
I don't know what else to say.
What?
That's what all of the
Do
evidence.
you know what common sense is? Oh my God, Candace, that's such a stupid thing to say. It's common sense Israel was involved. How do you know? I just know. I just think. I think things sometimes and then I go with it like an idiot.
And all the behavior points to is Israel's involvement. And that's who he was contending with in the last months of his life. Smallbird writes, quote, "What's a paver emergency?" Professional paver. Yeah, it's really funny when he says that because I was thinking the same thing. And if a professional paver...
I don't know. He seemed to take it pretty serious. What, are you going to crap on this guy's profession?
Has never heard of a paver emergency, then something is out of order. Something is bizarre. And there were other parts, by the way, of that interview that are just really funny where he kind of says that he was looking at people's reactions online. He thought, am I part of the cover up? And that's why he came out and started speaking because he realized, yes, everything that actually happened was weird. And they, especially sending a team before him to remove the soil and then bring him in to pave it because they wanted it done expeditiously. It's bonkers. Outside of literally destroying evidence, it makes no sense. And it's really scary to get to this point, I guess, in society where they just think that they have enough power and money to influence us against common sense. Like they can make up, down, and down, up and go, well, all of this is normal and we'll just keep sending out Blake Neff to tweet and scream and we'll send out Dana Lash to call people demonic who have basic questions and they can't sell Eric.
You didn't ask a question, though. You made a statement. See, that's the problem that I have. You sit there and you accused Erica Kirk of being a Black Widow. That's what you did. You said she is a Black Widow. You accused her of killing her husband. And then you're like, all I did was ask questions. It's so stupid.
Cut to the public. Oh, well. If you want to sell her to the public, she's going to have to tell the truth. That's it.
Proof she lied. That's it.
Is it.
Should be easy.
Comments for today's episode. Lindsay writes, "It blows me away how these people can face themselves in the mirror and the public after even just refusing to press this investigation."
Notice how she started going. Now she just said, commenting on today's episode. I think she may have stopped her whole pre-recording.
Let alone likely be a part of his assassination.
First time I've heard that one.
This is what true evil looks like, and I pray justice is one day served. It will be served. Like I said, they look sick. Lies are corrupting naturally. You can see their authentic success has been completely wiped away because people will not follow something that feels fraudulent. So they can, butt heads with people. I mean, they can brush shoulders with people at the White House. They can be invited to glitzy, glamorous events at Mar-a-Lago, but they've lost the people, and that meant everything to Charlie. It's how he built the organization, and so
notice
it just
how she's not
becomes
talking about
stuffy
Iran
and.
anymore. I guarantee you, Candace will never bring up Iran again. Y'all want to make a bet on that?
When things become stuffy, they can't thrive, they can't survive. So it's almost better this way. It's almost better to have it unravel slowly. I'm obviously hopeful that one day justice is going to be served, and I believe that it will. I believe that because look how far we are 9 months into this thing, and we have 90,000 people watching this live on YouTube. They wanted this to end the moment Erica said, "I forgive him." And it's not going away, it's getting bigger. And I think that because these people...
She has a right to forgive him. That's a pretty Christian thing to do. She can do that.
...are genuinely sociopathic and psychopathic, they couldn't predict this. This never featured in their plans that they might lose the people or that they were making early mistakes by pushing her on us too fast. And to people who do possess those qualities, this is their unraveling. To be liked means everything to them. And the only way they can be liked now is to tell the truth, and they're not going to do it. So sit back and enjoy the show, because that is ultimately true justice for Charlie. He was genuinely liked, and they are genuinely disliked. Zamit writes, "Hello to all the TPUSA
so full of crap
2.0 grifters in the chat, sending them my affection." That's very nice of you. Thank you. And that was a very nice tip. And it's not going to them, it's going to me. I'll let them know that. Allison Berry writes, "The only investigation is and has been done here by Candace Owens. The United States knows this. Other countries knows this. Other countries know this. The world knows this. We will never stop going. Max, thank you, Candace and team, for the long hours that you put in for truth. Thank you so much. And also to the smaller creators on YouTube. We've named a lot of them. You know, Nisi did great work. Everyone has contributed. Baron Coleman, Lionel.
And yet they haven't provided a single fact. Isn't that funny, Candace?
There have been so many people that have added different pieces to keep Charlie's story alive. And that's like I said, the greatest justice I feel like we can do. Our piece is to not let it go and to keep the pressure on this administration to file FOIA reports, demanding that we get these emails regarding her being an emotional asset. That is so explosive. The fact that the media won't touch that after we got that email is crazy. It's completely crazy that is not a front page story, that the White House Correspondents' Dinner, the messaging was staged, that the Department of War was artificially boosting Erica.
Who proved that ever happened? You have never proved that had happened at all. You could show the email, prove that they tried to do that.
Who took that video? Why is no one in the media interested in determining the answer to that? We put out a $10,000 bounty. We still can't find out who recorded that video. It certainly wasn't the CNN woman who put it on her Instagram. Anyway, Christy Rafferty writes, I want to know who decided Charlie would wear a white shirt versus the black that I've always seen him wear. If this was meant to send a message and it went as planned, a chest shot, the message would have been lost with his usual black shirt. I do believe that the color of the shirt was even picked for that reason, because we would have just thought he got shot in the chest.
Yeah, any proof? God dang. Whoa. Well, this is now a ticking time bomb. I just had 2 strings pop right out. Crap. Why did that happen? I tightened that down. I want that. That sucks. I hate Floyd Roses. But yeah, why would you think that seriously they give him a white shirt so they think he got shot in the chest? Like, that's so stupid. They dressed Charlie too, guys. Keep that in mind. They dressed Charlie Kirk. He had no agency of himself at all. He was so unbelievably, like, incapable of dressing himself. He didn't put on his own, like, have his own microphones or anything like that. He didn't have anything whatsoever. Everybody did everything for Charlie Kirk. He didn't even feed himself, guys. He couldn't even be bothered to feed himself. It was on a live stream live now from Fox. Wait, what was? Love my Aussie. Thank you so much for that $2, by the way. What was on live stream? Oh, him. Charlie Kirk was on live. Oh, wait a minute. Am I a moron? Could I have just, like, done this? Where was the UVU Charlie Kirk event being live streamed to? Let's see this. So she said nobody knew, but is it just because she didn't bother to do research on it at all? That'll be very funny. That'll be very, very, very funny if that's the case. Hold on 1 second. I'll be right back. Ooh, sorry about that. Caught my dog digging in the yard. I was like, nope, you're not doing this. He saw me right at the door and stopped immediately. I didn't even have to go get onto him. It's funny. Good stuff. So, okay. Facebook Live. Oh, okay. With footage also captured later and shared to YouTube news in news reports. Okay. Huh. Wow. There we go. Thank you for that,
Just
though.
seeing blood pool underneath his shirt, I
could have
think
just
was the goal. I
done
don't
that
think it was
earlier.
ever meant to hit his neck. It's just too stupid to try to sell that a 30-06 didn't go through a neck.
It's not too stupid, Candace. How about you go out and look up the ammunition for a 30-06 and educate yourself a little bit on them?
I think that's the something that went wrong that day. There are a lot of things that went wrong, other than even like the bizarre recording, them forgetting that someone should call 911. Hey, if there's a shooting, most people.
Nobody forgot to call 911. One person probably called on their team. They probably had several people do it, actually. And all the students were going to call 911. What, nobody was going to call 911 that day? For real? That's such a stupid, stupid thing to claim, Candace.
People would like keep running, not just like a few yards away, and then call their mom and says like, and be done. You would try to get through to 911.
How many staff do you think may have called 911 there? How many people do you think called 911? How many, let's see this. How many people called 911 at UVU on September 10th? Oh, you suck. Rock. Okay. The emergency calls followed the fatal rooftop sniping, of course. Let's see. The following details have been verified regarding the 911 dispatch records released by Utah public safety officials. I wonder how they ended up getting on, like, how did you get those 911 calls, Candace? How did you get those again? Have nobody called 911? That's so weird.
In the filing against
He's hanging
me,
out of the,
Ryan
someone was
Hartful
hanging out of the
asserted-
vehicle.
I think he asserted that
How'd
he
you get that
called
police scanner
911 or
call?
someone called 911. That I have not seen that in the released 911 recordings. Maybe there's a reason they're withholding some other recordings.
Wait. Hold on. You didn't see anybody called 911 in the 911 recordings? You know how stupid that sounds? Well, let's go back and let her say that again. Hold on.
I think he asserted that he called 911 or someone called 911. That I have not seen that in the released 911 recordings. Maybe there's a
Well, who dialed 911 if there were nobody called 911? That's weird.
reason they're withholding some other recordings that happened, but the Turning Point team broadly didn't try to assist Charlie and didn't call 911.
You don't know that. You have no idea.
I'm talking about the staff, the Mikey McCoys, the Blake Neffs.
Oh, specific members of the staff. Not the staff as a whole, but just specific members of the staff. Gotcha. That's stupid.
The Andrew Cipher, another person who's been with him for a very long time. Everyone just kind of ran under the underpass and seemed like they knew everything was going to be okay. That strikes me as unusual, and that's putting it mildly.
So how many people needed to call 911 to get the police there?
Coco Goes Off writes, I can't stop thinking about an interview with Andrew Colvett saying how Erica was called within a few hours of Charlie from someone very important, and they asked what Erica knew, and she said, I know everything. Erica had an interview using the same line, more signaling. Trump was the one who called her. That I know. Trump called her. And
I'm sure he called her at some point, but how do you know that it was Trump at that moment?
And that was probably a conversation between her and Trump. I mean, I think Erica knew Trump long before Charlie knew Trump. If you look at her background,
Can you prove that?
In Miss Universe and
just more speculation.
Pageantry.
Okay.
That was when Trump co-owned it with NBC Universal. There seems to be a running thread that everybody here is somehow involved with NBC Universal and Mark Burnett Productions as well. That's been another thread that we've been pulling on. Even Alex Clark, she was on reality TV. Someone was telling me I didn't include it in the spreadsheet because I just find her to be so irrelevant, but she was also a part of Mark Burnett Productions when she did some like Tinder show in the past or something. It's just interesting. Like they all kind of had these reality TV backgrounds, and you start to wonder if Charlie's life was a scripted reality TV show. I think it was. I think that's pretty obvious.
That's so ridiculous. His whole entire life was a scripted TV show, a reality TV show. His entire life, he was groomed to be this. Is that why his parents involved in this too, Candace? Because his parents would have to be involved. Why don't you ever bring them up? You are so terrified to bring up Charlie Kirk's parents. Wonder why that is. Maybe it's because they won't BS. Maybe they flat out told you, you bring us up, we're going to sue you. I don't know. I'm wondering why she never ever does that. Wouldn't Charlie Kirk's parents be to blame for all that if his life was just a TV show? Just asking questions, Candace.
But he will not die in vain. Cheeky Mama writes, I am Orthodox with a Romanian priest, and I don't have this many connections to Romanian orphanages. That's really funny. Sorry, I laughed through that. She writes, I'm Orthodox with a Romanian priest, and I don't have this many connections to Romanian orphanages. Amen, sister.
Well, they're part of the EU. They're part of the European Union. I don't know if Russia and the European Union get along that well. I don't know. Maybe they do.
I don't know. I don't know how it's possible, but they're just going to tell us it's all normal. It's just par for the course. This is what people do. Everyone just goes out and helps an orphanage in Romania. This is a network we're looking at, a global network. And you know what? Somebody told me this.
Well, then prove it's a global network, Candace. Do a little bit of digging. Contact some people in Romania. Get some private investigators. Do a little bit of work.
I don't know if it's true. I'm just sharing it with you because it's my podcast and I'm allowed to. But it seemed viable, is what I would say. That the way that it works and the way that the United States military has been caught in these global trafficking operations in the past is that what they first do is they send out the charity, right? They send out the people, like the Red Cross type people in an area that's been devastated.
Yeah, those disgusting Red Cross traffickers, right. Okay.
One way or the other, by war, by a hurricane, whatever it is. And they are the people that are effectively the scouts, finding where
she really is going to Red Cross is a bunch of traffickers. All right.
Children are going to be, or whatever it is, where they're going to set up the illegal shop. And then they send out the military because that's kind of like the brass and the support that you need to get these operations done.
Yep. All the military guys that end up going over there, and they also manage to keep their mouths shut. Do you understand how many millions of people we're at now that are colluding? Man, I did not realize these mosquito bites were so big. Good God. I was outside all day yesterday clearing out brush and stuff.
And there is, like I said, some historical support for that claim, which we're going to get into tomorrow, when America did get caught trafficking in a very big way. And somebody...
Well, I guess we'll find that out.
Blew the whistle on that. A very brave person. Anyway, we're going to discuss all of that tomorrow. I think I got everybody.
Let me guess, it's going to be an anonymous person, though, right?
I missed one. Avery writes, they mentioned that there were hats that were taken off the table in front of Charlie after he was shot. If you could get your hands on one of them, you could have it tested for explosive residue.
Okay, look, if they're trying to keep the hats away, they probably threw them in a burn pile. Like, what are you talking about?
May God bless you and keep you safe. I am certain that every piece of evidence down to the soil was removed that day. And
hopefully you have proof, right? I mean, they only had the tent he sat under, right? According to you. No evidence in that tent, I bet, huh? They had his microphone, which is behind a glass case. Guess you couldn't test that one, huh? They have they have a lot of stuff still. Like, don't you think that the explosion residue would have hit part of that tent at all?
The best bet is for someone to find that shirt, because if we find out that that shirt was washed, right, or that shirt was...
The shirt's cut up, and it's going to be presented in evidence. It's going to be cut right off of him so they could access everything.
Mysteriously given back to Erica in an open investigation, we will have our answer. Not that we haven't had it 1,000 times. We have our answer that something is very wrong with these Turning Point USA characters. And
that's a good point. Why would the soil have residue from an explosion that didn't escape his shirt? Also, all they had to do was just simply not test the soil, not worry about it at all. Who's going to come up behind him? Who went up behind him? And who went up behind after they cleaned up everything? And then decided, I'm just going to start testing the soil. Well, how much could they have possibly missed, too? But nobody's going there testing the soil right now. And would it still be in the soil right this second? No. So what is she talking about? They're like, oh, they had to get rid of all this. Well, who was going to go over there and test it and find out that that chemical was specifically in it? We didn't even know this chemical could have been used until yesterday. What are you talking about, Candace? And by now, that soil would have been washed out and gone. No matter what, they didn't have to pave over it at all. Nobody was going to go there and test that soil after that.
And it grows increasingly wrong by the day. The more Blake Neff talks, the more guilty they look, the more that they carry on the show in the exact opposite direction of everything that Charlie believed in. the more that we recognize that he was surrounded by snakes and actors and performers who was.
And see, that's the thing. Here it is again. Accusations. He was surrounded by snakes, actors, and performers. And TPUSA, they look guilty. Every time Blake talks, he look guilty. So Blake is now guilty of Charlie Kirk's murder. But no evidence provided whatsoever.
Was directing it, who was casting it. Well, maybe it was the Mossad. I know they took credit for that a couple of days ago.
They took credit for ending Charlie Kirk a couple of days ago? Oh, okay.
We showed you. They
Did you?
are the directors, the producers. They can infiltrate any organization. They said it, not me.
Cool. They probably could if they wanted to. Any proof that they did?
Anyway, best way to support our show. We
don't care to support your show. Your show's garbage. Your show's garbage. You don't even think half the time whenever you make a claim. Oh, there has to be something left behind. You mean the entire freaking tent that they left behind forever? If it's able to get into the soil, then it probably shot up to the tent. They have the table. They have everything else, right? Just completely ridiculous. Anyway, what do y'all think about this? Oh, Jujubee, you out of here? Oh, hey, yeah, no problem at all. Where are you modding at, by the way? Is it Gary's show? Because how long has he been on? Yes, he is live right now. How long has he been on?
You at the time.
Oh, he's been on for about an hour. Okay.
Everything aligned. There was really no gaps in, like, we had more information even then, even more so now.
Alrighty.
Like, I
you
didn't
guys ready
see
for this?
anything nefarious that was taking place.
This is an
I would
amazing. You
love
all
to find
will
that
need
the
to
FBI
finish this
or,
and then restart
Utah
it and watch
State
it.
SBI
For sure.
We're corrupt, and we're
Paramount
trying to frame
Tacticals
this
channel I have
poor
pinned
kid.
right down here. I want you all to go
That's not
flood
what I
over
found at all.
flood on over there.
And so, anyways, I see what Candace is doing, and I'm like, all right, I got to make a video on this.
I'm going to go ahead and mute that. I'm going to read out to everybody who has donated and stuff. Diana Cooper, thank you so much for joining as a troll. Janae, for the 10, thank you so much. Eric, for the 15, thank you so much, man. We have Lila for the 7 sorries. Thank you so much for that. We have Anna for the, I'm going to have to think of something for the New Zealand. Baja Bucks? Huh? Okay, that could be funny. Come on. Give me that one at least. Anyway, Anna for the $5. Thank you so much. And Love My Aussie for the $1. Thank you so much. And thank you so much, Papa Jamo, for joining the channel. I really appreciate that. Joining as a troll. You guys have been absolutely amazing today. I hate to kind of cut it a little short, but I got to get up super early for work tomorrow and then make sure that I get videos done as soon as I get back home and upload them very, very fast. Work schedule's a little crazy. I should stream Baron Coleman's show and point out all of his inconsistencies. That would be a good one. I should do that. Take a shot, girl. Thank you so much for that. I should do that. I think I am going to start doing that too. I may be doing that here really, really soon. Hold up. Baring and Artie collab. That's going to be epic for sure. Oh, yeah. Baring's always down. He'll come on anytime I ask him. I don't think we'll stream the game. I don't know the ins and outs of all that. I don't know anything about soccer. I don't know if he keeps up with it or not either. I think he likes rugby more. I don't know. I'll ask him. Maybe he likes soccer. Actually, I don't even know if he watches sports much. Does he? I don't know if he does or doesn't. I'll have to ask him. Yeah, Gary went to the campus and actually investigated. 1,000,000% he did. Did a good job too. Let's see. Yeah. So, it's one of those things. Oh, yeah, Baring's still around. I actually just joined his band not that long ago, so I'm going to be doing some solos and stuff on his music if they get around to getting the song completed. He already sent me a song, and I've learned it in and out for the most part, so I'm prepared to slap down a solo whenever they get it going. But yeah, Baring's still around. He's a good guy. Absolutely love that dude. His wife is awesome. His kid's awesome. About the same age as my kids, actually. Actually, is the same age as my kids, not about. So, yeah, crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. It's one of the best, probably the best dude I know on the internet for sure. Baring. Just an amazing guy. Absolutely amazing guy. Gary has some videos out there of it as well. Absolutely, he does. Speaking of Gary, though, Paramount Tactical, his channel's right there linked. You guys should definitely go there and see this James Lindsay interview. Got James Lindsay on. Look at that. Dude's also lost a lot of weight. Good for him. Let's see. Doesn't matter if you know much about the sport. It's more you two are from the competing countries that are going against each other. Oh, really? And that's happening on Friday? I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll definitely have to see. Bering he likes to do funny stuff, and I really want to get some very funny videos for us to watch together or something like that on the channel. I want to have a really funny time with him. I don't know that, I don't know if he'll want to do that or not. I'll ask him. Don't worry. I'll ask him. We'll see. Oh, the short. That's right. You did share a short, didn't you? Let's take a look at this real quick before we go over to Gary's channel.
Hey, Chad. When did Charlie Kirk get assassinated?
Charlie Kirk hasn't been assassinated. He's still alive. If you heard something along those lines, it might have been a rumor or misinformation. Let me know if you need more reliable info.
Hold up. He's still alive.
Yep, he's still around and very active. If you ever hear shocking news like that, it's always good to double check.
Can you do a web search real quick?
Okay, AI is just weird. What is this?
According to recent news, Charlie Kirk was fatally shot on September 10th, 2025, during an event with Turning Point USA. Any claims suggesting he is still alive are inaccurate.
All right, so there's no conspiracy underneath the hood there where he's still alive. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. The information is well documented. If you've seen rumors suggesting otherwise, it's best to rely on official
So can you explain why you told me that he was still alive and kicking?
I'm really sorry for the confusion earlier. I rely on up-to-date sources, and I check them only after you ask for a web search. Initially, I was going off general knowledge, not recent events. Now that we've got accurate info, I appreciate your understanding.
All right, when is your knowledge cut off?
My general knowledge stops at June 2024. So for anything that's happened after that, I rely on web searches or fresh updates. That's why if something recent comes up, I'll double check in real time.
That actually makes sense. So in other words, they put out this bot. Okay, this the chat bot or whatever. And unless somebody asks him something specific like that, he doesn't update. Now, this is his personal chat GPT. I don't know if everybody knows this. This Grok here, this Grok knows things that other people's Grok does not. So if I were to put something in here that I've asked Grok before, it'll give me an accurate answer. If somebody else asks Grok on their end the same answer, it will give them a different answer if they have not asked it before, assuming that it's the same thing. So it's not really that crazy.
Okay. What was the last thing that happened in your knowledge base? The very last thing.
The very last thing I'd know without looking anything up would be from June 2024. But there's no single...
Give me a significant event from that day.
Okay.
A significant event around mid-2024 was the 2024 U.S. presidential election campaigns ramping up. Candidates were actively preparing for...
Who do you think won?
I can't predict or know outcomes beyond my cutoff.
Hey, Chad.
Okay, that's it. I don't know the point of this video, though. Odd. It's a weird video. You know, GPT is weird, but I get what it's saying and stuff. He understood too, I think. Very weird video. I don't know why he uploaded it like that, though. That's a little odd. He could have given a resolution at the end of it. I don't know. Anyway, that was an interesting video for sure. Very, very strange. ChatGPT is weird. ChatGPT voice is good, isn't it? Isn't that weird? I wonder if Grok will ever get a voice. I wonder if he will. I don't know. But yeah, we could make fun of the sport. I don't know. I just don't know what Bering will do. I'll send him a message on it, though, for sure. Yeah, we'll definitely have to check it out. We'll have a good time for sure, no matter what happens. I don't know if he'll even be available, because if you think about it right now, I think, what time is it? What time on the Gold Coast? Or I don't think he's even living there. Well, just do Australia in general. Let's see. So Kingston, Christmas Island is 7:34 a.m. right now. That's crazy. Perth is 8:30 a.m. So, you know, all these places here in Australia, like it's 11:34 a.m. right now there. So that would be pretty okay there. I don't think he lives over there, though. What is it? Let's just see. 10:34 a.m. Yeah. So for us to live stream, when I start my live stream, so it'd be 8 a.m. is whenever, I don't even know if he wakes up at 8. I don't know if he wakes up at, like, really deep nighttime or morning time or anything. I'll have to check. I'll have to see. I'll have to see for sure. But anyway, jump on over here, guys. Jump on over to this live stream. Absolutely amazing live stream. You'll want to restart all of this for sure after the live stream ends, probably, or before. It's up to you guys. Thank you all so much for being here. Please like, subscribe, and share. Please join memberships if you are interested in joining memberships, because, you know, you get videos early and stuff like that. And yeah, guys, I'm going to have to hop off here and help the kiddos get on down to bed, give the wife a little bit of relief there. So thank you all so much for being here. I got to get up early too. And I'll see you guys here in the next one. Later.